Suddenly there was a popping sound, followed by the whistling sound of the motor turning, which was extremely ear-piercing. Not long after, when the sound wave finally stopped, Su Zaicheng also let out a heavy breath. Although he already had a physique that surpassed a god would also be tired, and this was too difficult. Su Zaicheng had no doubt that if he came here for a few minutes, he would definitely not be able to bear it, and his arm was still sore and swollen right now. Fortunately, self-healing ability can solve this small problem, otherwise, Su Zaicheng would have to hide in the hunter space for 15 minutes. This is it. How can you still know the tricks of that old ghost of Atlantis? I really don't understand it anymore. It seems that Dormammu didn't try his best, but he seemed to see that the tricks used by Su Zaicheng had a feeling of déjà vu before he stopped. Su Zaicheng was also secretly surprised. He really didn't expect that Dormammu actually knew the first king of Atlantis. If it is calculated according to this seniority, how long has he lived? A century? 10 centuries? What about Ancient One? Also a 1,000-year-old monster. It seems that calling him an old monster is really not the meaning of teasing him. There's more you don't know. Even though he was a little shocked by Dormammu's age in his heart, Su Zaicheng still looked rebellious on the surface. Even, after speaking, the trident in his hand pointed directly at Dormammu. The next moment, Su Zaicheng moved again. I saw that when he made a move, his move was like a silver dragon reaching for its claws, and when he retracted his halberd, it was like a lightning flying rainbow. The halberd turns over like a boa constrictor, makes it fly like lightning around the sky, and roars like the wind to a yushu. Like a silver dragon turning over the bottom of the sea, like auspicious snow flying all over the sky. If this move was an ordinary person, Akira would make him dizzy during the battle. This is the charm of the halberd. When the halberd is like a dragon, it is like a dragon. The next step is to catch him by surprise, take advantage of his unpreparedness, and kill him with a single halberd. Having said that, when dealing with ordinary enemies or enemies who are a few levels higher than Su Zaicheng, such sharp moves can definitely turn defeat into victory, but in the face of Dormammu who is dozens or hundreds of levels higher than him, these are obviously not enough to watch. Maybe in the eyes of Dormammu, he is just a kid with a sharp weapon. However, just as Dormammu slackened, the thrust of the trident came out. Cuckoo. No matter how Su Zaicheng swayed just now, he seemed to be in Dormammu's grasp. He only recognized one of the thousands of phantoms. That big face just leaned slightly to the side and easily dodged Su Zaicheng's attack. It's now. At the same time as the halberd stabbed out, Su Zaicheng seemed to be waiting for this moment, only to see his mouth slightly opened, and a black light shot out fiercely. This ray of light is very weak and you can't see it unless you look carefully. This is the Dormammu ray that Su Zaicheng just learned. Okay. The speed of the ray was very fast, and taking advantage of Dormammu's inattention, it actually hit him. Immediately, the place where Dormammu was located was also cracked layer by layer. Ha ha ha. There is an old saying on Earth, I don't know if you've heard it, it's also called treating others in the same way. This power can split the piece of dark matter where Dormammu is located, which surprised Su Zaicheng a bit. To be reasonable, Su Zaicheng just mastered it and couldn't reach this kind of power at all. It was later that Su Zaicheng figured out that it might be because of the dark matter world that the entire space is filled with dark matter. Naturally, the power of the rays composed of dark matter has also been greatly enhanced in the invisible. This point has also been verified by Su Zaicheng on Earth. The Dormammu rays that have left the dark matter world are generally more powerful than the explosion of bursting TNT. But there is no need to worry, its power will definitely increase as Su Zaicheng's strength increases, there should be no doubt about this. Cuckoo. I don't know if he was angry with Su Zaicheng, or he didn't understand what was going on, so Dormammu simply stopped talking and directly used that dialect to attack Su Zaicheng. It's not over yet. At the moment, Su Zaicheng had put his heart and soul into the fight, and even Hawkeye had been released secretly. Hawkeye upgraded to level 6 not only has a larger and wider field of vision, but also has some other small skills. For example, in a battle, slow down the enemy's attack speed, or detect subtle loopholes from other people's fast attacking actions. There are even more perspective functions. In the past, Su Zaicheng lifted Hawkeye into the air to observe from the perspective of God, and at the same time cooperated with spiritual power to capture enemies in the blind spots of vision, or hidden in corners, and in the house. Now it is different. Even in the deep night, Hawkeye can the effect of the visual instrument, and it is only strong but not weak. As for the soul tracking technique, Su Zaicheng didn't plan to use it. For an opponent of Dormammu's level, using mental power to attack is really a bit lame. Maybe it will allow Dormammu to find a loophole and take the opportunity to erode Su Zaicheng's spirit. prick, stab, tart, slam, wrap, circle, block, hold, pounce, point, pull, dance flowers. There is another trick in the halberd technique, which is called looking back and digging by the common people. In the spring and autumn saber technique, it can be said that the use skills of the Jiaolong trident are introduced in great detail, and every step Su Zicheng uses is exquisite, and it can be said that he has already grasped the essence. In such a flash, Su Zicheng had used hundreds of tricks before he knew it. Suddenly a deafening sound came from the body of the halberd, which startled Su Zicheng and made Dormammu froze at the same time. Could it be that this triggers? After yelling, "It's not over yet," all I saw was that as Su Zicheng stabbed out with a halberd, there was actually a faint dragon emerging from the tip of the halberd. At the same time, Jiaolong also opened his mouth wide, and a strong wind swept over in an instant. Then the space debris visible to the naked eye collapsed layer by layer. This blow unexpectedly reached the power of Dormammu's sonic attack just now. The subsidiary skill of the Flood Dragon Trident is Flood Dragon's Roar, and its power is so terrifying. I didn't expect that a 1,000th probability would allow me to use it. Su Zicheng's heart was also stirred up. Not only did he approve of Jiaolong's roar, but he also gave a shit about his good luck. I don't know, if I do it a few more times, Ice Sky Burial Flower can be used. In the next less than 3 minutes, Su Zicheng swung the trident more quickly, but the imaginary secondary skills did not appear for a long time. Maybe he was shocked by Su Zicheng's series of offensives in one go. Dormammu has changed positions for countless times. Ding. 15 minutes are up. Okay, got it. Hearing the system's prompt, Su Zicheng flew back and opened the distance again. This was intentional when Su Zicheng entered the hunter space, and it could be regarded as an alarm clock set by the system. Because in this dark matter world, it is difficult for Su Zicheng's speed to reach that super light speed again, so he can only pin his hope of leaving on the weakened version of the Space Gem Ring. With a slight flip of the wrist, the Flood Dragon Trident has been put into the hunter's space. Old monster, look for a flying saucer. Little ghost, don't you want to slip away? Why are you so scared? Sure enough, it feels very uncomfortable to be seen by others at a glance. Su Zicheng didn't dare to open the space rift immediately and go straight away. If Dormammu directly blocked this space to prevent Su Zicheng from moving, wouldn't it be a joke? What's more, there are still 4 or 5 seconds to stay after the crack opens. Dormammu is taking this opportunity to sneak away, so Su Zicheng will be a sinner forever. Let Dormammu out, he will be the first one to be unlucky, although he is not afraid of him, but at least is still unable to beat him. Come on, let me see what else you can do to slip away from me. I'm curious, how did you get in, and how do you want to get out? Look at me, and I too. Then why don't you come out? Su Zicheng seemed to have a little angel in his heart and said something coy. Since it's impossible to outwit, let's use a simple and rough stroke. In the blink of an eye, Su Zicheng had another bow in his hand. Isn't it the elemental bow with a bonus of 40? A cloud-piercing arrow can sink thousands of miles across the field. Su Zicheng is very familiar with the action of drawing the bow and nodding the arrow. Don't think about it, it is the strongest elemental arrow coming up, and only the elemental arrow can be condensed under such space pressure. Since upgrading the elemental bow to level 40, Su Zicheng hasn't used it much. Well, to be precise, he hasn't used it once. To be honest, Su Zicheng, the bow of the elements in its current state, does not dare to be sure of its power, but just glimpsed a part or two from the introduction. On the property panel, a line of small characters introduced it like this. Adding 100 elemental arrows per day on the original basis, the number of ordinary arrows has already reached tens of thousands, and Su Zicheng didn't really count the last few zeros. Anyway, these ordinary arrows are very important to Su Zicheng. The feeling is that it is tasteless to eat and it is a pity to discard it. However, the number of elemental arrows is still not enough. After reaching level 40, ordinary elemental arrows can no longer satisfy Su Zicheng. Fortunately, there are hundreds of upgraded elemental arrows every day. When you see the word upgraded, you should understand that they are extraordinary. When the elements of the upgraded version gradually emerged in Su Zicheng's hands, it was clearly in a vacuum, but he really felt a wave of heat coming. Fire element. Check it out. Just as Su Zicheng finished speaking, he saw a fiery red arrow condensed on the front end of the bow of the elements. As soon as he let go of his hand, the arrow immediately rushed towards Dormammu wantonly like a wild horse running wild. Whether it is accurate or not, Su Zicheng is not worried. Unless it is eroded by him, and it is the kind that does not even leave scum. Otherwise, no one can stop the arrow from reaching its destination. Huh? Strange. Why do you still have this kind of thing? It seems that Dormammu also knows this kind of arrow. No, it should be said that it is this advanced version of fire element. It is not an exaggeration to say that the fire element at this moment is a skyfire. Ordinary flames will be extinguished when water comes, and when wind comes, they will be extinguished. At the point of strengthening, water will not extinguish. But when it comes to the advanced version, let alone water, nothing will work. Even if there is no air or oxygen, it will still burn. Not only that, the advanced version of flames can not only burn human bones, but also burn human souls. It's a bit of a fantasy, but in the Marvel multi-universe, nothing is impossible. Just like dark matter, originally it is an existence beyond nature, and the advanced version of flame is like dark matter, which is a product from another time and space or universe. When the flaming arrows struck, Dormammu naturally couldn't be unmoved. When the arrows were still moving in the original direction, Dormammu opened his mouth and sprayed out a large cloud of dark matter, straight into the flame arrow. When Su Zicheng thought that his attack would return in vain, Fang Fang didn't expect that the dark matter would burn with a bang before it touched the flame. The soaring flames seemed to want to melt the space. From this, Su Zicheng concluded that the advanced version of the elemental arrows was as powerful as the rays shot by Dormammu himself. Even stronger. This is indeed unexpected. You can even make fine fire. What else can you not do? Brat. Yes, definitely yes, trying this. The refined fire mentioned by Dormammu should refer to Su Zicheng's advanced version of the flame arrow. Since people have asked if you have any more, as an honest person, Su Zicheng will definitely let him get his wish. Pull the bow of the element to full string again. Another advanced version of the arrow is practiced and condensed. Just when the arrow was about to condense into shape, Su Zicheng made a small inadvertent movement. An inconspicuous brilliance flashed, and the arrow seemed to be different from the previous one. The difference was that there were more patterns on the arrow that was supposed to be smooth at the moment, as if there was a hand depicting it in invisible, although small, but extremely delicate. It can even be vaguely seen to be a pattern of a pentagram. Jinglei. Brat. Where did you come from? Now, Dormammu is not only curious about how Su Zicheng got here, but also seems to be more curious about where Su Zicheng came from. Not only can he learn the moves of Atlantis, but he can also learn the skills of Dormammu, who can withstand a blow from dark matter rays without being damaged. The most important thing is that this little devil can also summon elements such as fine fire and fine thunder. This is no longer an ordinary person, it can be done. Tell me, which creator god's child are you? At this time, Dormammu had to doubt Su Zicheng's identity. Take my blow first and say it. Su Zicheng closed his eyes, speaking with mental strength. The tip of the arrow condensed into a point, as if trying to see through Dormammu. Whether you can go out or not depends on you. He thought indiscriminately, and in the next second, the arrow was out of his hand. In the distance, Dormammu was wondering. Suddenly there seemed to be a mysterious force that was about to penetrate from the flame in front of him. At a certain moment Dormammu actually felt the breath of death. Swish swish swish. The arrow was so fast that the shadow could not be seen at all, only the sound could be heard. Didn't wait for Dormammu to move at all. The next moment, the arrow had already arrived in front of him. Zzz in an instant, the violent electric current raged violently, and the entire space was filled with powerful thunder and lightning, faintly darkening the phenomenon of material decomposition. The advanced version of the lightning element is similar to the advanced version of the flame element. Both can exist in such an environment, and they will last forever. Even now the flame is still burning. Do you think this is the end? No, it's not over yet. I saw an inconspicuous brilliance flickering when the thunder and lightning were violent, and it became brighter and brighter. Suddenly, it grew rapidly, and the last clearly visible five-pointed star array suddenly appeared in front of Dormammu. Perhaps the lightning may not interfere with Dormammu, but when the advanced version of the lightning is added with the five-pointed star array, the power will be different, and it is definitely not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. From the last explosion of Sokovia, it can be seen that the power of a magic circle composed of only 5 elements is enough to blow up a city. This time with the advanced version of the lightning arrow. I am afraid that the power will be on the next level. Su Zicheng was confident that this attack would not cripple Dormammu, at least temporarily immobilize him. Sure enough, when the 5-pointed star array spun rapidly, Dormammu visibly trembled. He didn't know whether it was fear or he saw something terrible. Unprepared, the magic circle suddenly exploded, and the violent airwave brought fierce space fragments to sweep everything in an instant. Even Dormammu had to stay out of the way. However, just when Dormammu appeared in another position, a gloomy cold air rushed towards his body suddenly. As a character of this level, Dormammu naturally has his unique way. Just when danger was about to strike, Dormammu teleported to the other side again. At this time, Dormammu should also be thinking, Zaubian, he still wants to sneak attack me while he is not prepared, and also wants to use the explosion to hit me, and if he touches me, he will be considered a loser. Just when Dormammu was taking it lightly, the feeling of danger came again, only now Dormammu was still immersed in the complacency that he had escaped the sneak attack. Puff. The lightning arrow hits accurately. Under the skill of absolute hit, as long as it is seen by Su Zicheng, it can hit you accurately no matter where you hide in Tianya Cape. No matter who you are, God of Creation is no exception. Well. Hand. The strong paralysis made Dormammu unable to speak clearly. And the body seems to be restrained, so he can only tremble unconsciously. This is the effect that the advanced version of Thunderbolt can achieve. Not only that, but looking back at Dormammu's body, blue electric arcs danced all over his body, crackling like a beautiful fireworks. Good chance. Old monster, goodbye by fate. With a swipe of his right hand in front of him, a space crack as tall as a person appeared in front of Su Zicheng again. A crack appeared, and Su Zicheng quickly jumped into it without looking back. I was afraid that Dormammu would break free from Thunderbolt's shackles in the next second and leave him behind. Little devil. Dormammu could only watch Su Zicheng escape. Could it be that this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity just slipped away like this? You can move now. As soon as Su Zicheng left, Dormammu also teleported, madly rushing towards the space crack. The only exit to escape from the cage is in front of him, and Dormammu, who has been imprisoned for many years, is already red-eyed. However, the reality is such a trick of good fortune, and it may be that Dormammu is not born with the European Emperor's physique. Barrier of the world. Phew, Tien is finally here. Somewhere in space, another figure suddenly appeared. It was Su Zicheng who had just passed through the crack in space. Hawkeye looked at it. Why is this environment so familiar? Isn't it? After running for so long, you're still here? Relying on Su Zicheng's memory, he recognized this place without any effort. Isn't that where it came from? It wasn't Su Zicheng's destination with a weakened version of the space gem ring. Instead, Su Zicheng ran here from the original place, broke through the speed threshold here, and broke into the world of dark matter by mistake, so the exit bus drove here. It's just that this makes Su Zicheng puzzled. Since the speed is faster than the speed of light, why is there still such a small distance? It's right to think about it carefully. After all, this is space and not the Earth. The sense of distance has disappeared. It seems that it is not far away. In fact, the distance visible to the naked eye has exceeded the range of Su Zicheng's cognition. If you have to calculate the distance, it is probably dozens of times longer than the length of the Earth's equator, or even more. It still feels good to be in space. Su Zicheng moved his whole body and felt a burst of relief. The bones and cells all over his body are greedily adapting to the environment of space. That's right. Running out of the world of dark matter suddenly, he has already adapted to the gravity of the high-intensity space, and now he suddenly returns to the environment of space. Su Zicheng only feels full of power again. Even the kind of the depression of carrying a mountain is also swept away. Unexpectedly, I was originally adapted to the space environment, but now I seem to be living in the comfort zone. Su Zicheng feels that his physical strength may still be raised to a higher level. Even the dark matter has survived. It is difficult for Su Zicheng to imagine what else can threaten him. By the way, Dormammu is really strong. It is estimated that after a few more steps, I will catch up with the God of Creation. Isn't Ancient One? Su Zicheng didn't dare to continue imagining. He originally thought that one day he would go to Ancient One to learn a few magic tricks secretly, but now it seems that if they don't look for you, it is the greatest indulgence for you. Now Su Zicheng has to use all means in the face of Dormammu, even his whole cards. But even this can't hurt Dormammu. Even if it is bound by lightning, it is only a few breaths, which is completely negligible. It may be because Dormammu's strength has also been strengthened in the opponent's lair, so Su Zicheng can't beat him. But this is not an excuse for Su Zicheng. Because as the son of heaven, this situation is never allowed in Su Zicheng's dictionary. If there is, then eliminate him. Dormammu, I will come to you again. Su Zicheng swore secretly in his heart. Damn it. Dormammu is so strong, Ancient One is so perverted. Thinking of Ancient One, Su Zicheng was not only a little shocked. Can eat characters sealed by Dormammu. The ability of Ancient One is definitely a member of the strongest echelon officially recognized by Marvel. The Lord of the Earth deserves to be the Lord of the Earth. one can imagine the strength of a person who can protect the earth for thousands of years. Even Su Zicheng suspected that the reason why purple sweet potato essence has not come to Earth for so long is because of Ancient One. According to the plot, it seems that after the death of Ancient One, purple sweet potato essence came to grab gems. It's scary to think about it, but it's too late for Ancient One to die. Su Zicheng couldn't believe that such a powerful old monster who lived for so long would be killed by a small magic. And, for these things happening on Earth, Su Zicheng really thought about it seriously. Why are so many superheroes born on the Earth? It seems that many bigwigs in the universe know the existence of the Earth. And the Earth is also like a sweet pastry, being robbed by people. Not only people, but also many powerful substances in the universe, such as wireless gems, also exist on the Earth. For example, mind gem, time gem, space gem. In the early days of creation, 3 of the 6 wireless gemstones appeared on the Earth, and even 2 still exist on the Earth now. What does this mean? Can it be said that there is something on the Earth that attracts all things? Could it be that what the ancients said about the center of the Earth is true? Is the Earth really the center of the universe? Su Zicheng only felt that the compulsory education he had received all these years had been insulted. It is said that the winner is the king, and history is rewritten by the winner, just like the famous saying in The King's Pesticide, only the living are eligible to clear the line. Can it be said that the contents of the current history books are also half-truths and half-false, half true and half false? Perhaps, some scientific truths have long been contrary to reality. As the saying goes, the end of science is metaphysics. Now Su Zicheng has reason to believe that those dead great figures in the scientific world must be hiding some truth. Maybe the Earth really is the center of the universe. There are not only these powerful cosmic substances on the Earth, but also the Ancient One, and even Thor's father, the king of god Odin of the Aesir Protoss in Norse mythology, also came to the Earth in his later years. Is this a coincidence? Anyway, Su Zicheng does not would think so. It doesn't matter, let's think about it later. One day, I will get to the bottom of these things. Now Su Zicheng seriously doubts whether his time travel is also related to these. Maybe some kind of hunter system, some kind of bounty hunter, all of these have a kind of cause and effect somewhere. When Su Zicheng thought of this, he didn't notice that the white circle of light that Jiali mentioned flickered a few times above his head. Now that you've come out, let's try your skills. Being suppressed by Dormammu just now, Su Zicheng has not let go of his hands and feet. Not only is his anger pent up in his heart, but his hands are also itchy. Come on. Let me see your true strength. Directly ahead, there are some small planets floating, or it can be said to be small meteorites. The average diameter is only about 10 meters. The largest one is only 30 to 50 meters, and the smallest one is estimated to be less than 1 meter. However, since it is a meteorite, falling on the Earth with a mass of 10 meters can destroy a city with a population of tens of millions. Not to mention these small planet groups. The lips parted slightly, and in an instant a Dormammu ray galloped towards one of the medium file-size planets. Hey, it's a pity, the strength is not enough. For some reason, just as the ray shot out, Su Zicheng shook his head and sighed, as if disappointed. XXX. Indeed, looking at the planet that hit it and turned around a few times, it was only shot through, and did not explode as expected. It should be out of the dark matter world. Without the support of enough dark matter, even the condensed Dormammu rays are much weaker. It seems that it can be used as a sneak attack skill. Although the explosion damage is insufficient, the penetration ability is quite powerful. Being able to replicate this skill, Su Zicheng is already very satisfied. Whoring for nothing, don't do it for nothing. A 5th level copy is indeed possible. It may be that Su Zicheng's strength has improved, or it may be a psychological effect. Inexplicably, I feel that the speed of analyzing Dormammu rays is much faster this time, and the time to get started is also shortened a lot. Since the ray doesn't work, I'm trying the Flood Dragon Trident. With a flip of his wrist, the Flood Dragon Trident reappeared in his hand. With the strength of the calf, I came to this small planet in a single jump. Drink, open. The trident danced a knife flower in his hand, and instantly directed towards a large planet with a diameter of 15 meters. Rumble. A planet of this quality can't last half a second under Su Zicheng's trident. It can be said that it exploded as soon as it touched the surface of the planet. Come again. The trident in the hand dances faster and faster, and dances faster and faster. The planet around him was also like falling rocks, all smashed into small gravel. It felt like firing a machine gun on a calm lake. There was a wave in an instant. Roar. Before he knew it, Su Zicheng danced thousands of times. and the subsidiary skill of the Flood Dragon Trident, Flood Dragon's Roar, was triggered again. In the next second, the small planet zone, which was originally quite dense, burst into a blank area in an instant. Although the planets one after another in the distance can't shatter them, they can also shake them out. Phew. Happy. This feeling of being able to hit the target every time you swing it is really different. Not like when we fought Dormammu. There is always a kind of strength and no place to use it. If you hit it, it seems to be sent on cotton, and it will not have any effect. It is really depressing. Host. Tien is here in 5 minutes. Okay, don't remind me in the future, unless I tell you to. Yes. When the prompt sounded and Su Zicheng was about to open the space crack again, he suddenly found some unique things floating in the blank space in front of him. The thing is very small, like a little ball. But it was by no means the crushed stone that fell just now. That thing is very dark, and you can't really see it unless you look carefully. If it weren't for Su Zicheng's Hawkeye being turned on all the time, Su Zicheng really might not be able to see it. He walked over and made a casual move, and the thing was in his hand. So heavy. Observe carefully, it seems that it is really an unknown sphere. There are also some weird textures on it. It is also heavy to hold. Su Zicheng has the strength of 1,000 caddies when he swings it casually, but it still feels a little strenuous to hold it in the palm of his hand. What it is specifically, Ren Su Zicheng lived 2 lifetimes and still can't tell what it is. System? What is this? Fortunately, Su Zicheng has the bug of the hunter system, so he doesn't have Du Niang, as a traditional virtue of Chinese people. Don't be ashamed to ask questions, study hard, and Su Zicheng has learned a model. The host is holding a star core, that is the core of the small planet. Why is it so heavy? And then, each star core takes thousands of years to form one. Even some large planets take tens of thousands of years. The sun in your solar system, the solar core, is billions of years old. So that means, this thing is very valuable? There is a cosmic force in the core of the star. It is the same as the power contained in infinite gems. It's just that the purity of the cosmic force possessed by each star core is different. The one in my hand, how pure is it? How is the purity calculated? The purity of the force is divided into 10 levels, 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest. The one in the host's hand barely reached 0.1. Nani. Not even 1. The planet's existence in this star core is too short, and it should have been formed only in the last few years. That's really shit luck. What is the use of this thing? The force of the universe can be used to forge equipment, which is the best choice as an upgrade material. I rub it, it works so well. I'm a super lucky star again today? If the host is willing, the star core can be exchanged for a knife. What is the exchange method, and what is the exchange rate? Su Zicheng became more and more curious. He didn't expect to discover such a big secret by accident. Fortunately, Su Zicheng was blessed by the god of luck. Fortunately, Su Zicheng had Hawkeye who discovered this thing. Fortunately, Su Zicheng also had a hunter system who knew this thing. If it were someone else, it would probably be filtered out as gravel. Didn't this make Su Zicheng pick up a big leak? 1 point of purity is correspondingly exchanged for 100 billion. The exchange rate changes with time, and the details are unknown. Unknown? In other words, the exchange rate is up to you to decide. 110 billion, 110 billion, isn't that what you say? Su Zicheng directly ignored the value of the gem in his hand, but grasped the key point, and directly asked the conclusion behind. The host can understand that. Isn't this clearly cheating people, and you can confidently say that this is cheating you? It makes people uncomfortable. Anyway, Su Zicheng has discovered a currency that can replace rice knives. Su Zicheng also thought about this problem before. In the future, the system's equipment needs to be higher and higher levels, and his own skill upgrades, including physical fitness points, require more and more money. After reaching a certain level, maybe the whole world, the sum of the above amounts, is not enough for Su Zicheng to buy a skill or equipment. In order to solve this trouble, Su Zicheng really had to deal with it as a big problem. Fortunately, he found a substitute today. If the amount of money on Earth is limited, then the number of star cores is absolutely unlimited. Looking around in the universe, there are not many stars, such as fixed star, planet, comet, etc., which can be said to be inexhaustible. In the future, the problem of money will be solved. It can also be used to upgrade equipment, and can also be used to exchange money. Little thing, you are really timely. Su Zicheng raised the star core in his hand to his eyes, observed carefully, and the saliva almost flowed out. I almost got close to kissing her. This is more exciting than seeing my girlfriend. System. Let me ask you again, Where does this star core exist on the planet, and how do you get it? It's inside the planet, just smash it into pieces. The mass of the star core is huge, and the lines on the surface can absorb potential energy, so there is no need to worry about breaking it with too much force. I'm relieved. Hey, Su Zaicheng smiled slyly and disappeared in place. In the hunter space, Su Zaicheng seemed to be planning a big event. I saw him take out the bow of elements, and then began to condense the arrows, and it is only condensed, not shot out. After only a short while of hard work, hundreds of ordinary arrows have been condensed. Dozens of elemental arrows, and several upgraded elemental arrows. It's almost enough, no amount of mental strength can support it. Looking at the arrows all over the ground, Su Zaicheng said to himself. Suddenly, Su Zaicheng sat down cross-legged on the spot. Picking up an arrow in one hand, waving the other hand back and forth in the air, like a ghost drawing talisman. At the same time, the eyes are closed, and the mental power is like a nimble hand condensing a pen. Follow the gestures and draw a magic circle in a few seconds. That's right, this is how to use magic characterization. Although a bit fantasy, but this does not affect its effect. The advanced version of the lightning arrow drawn during the battle against Dormammu was inadvertently tried to draw by Su Zaicheng when he was idle. When using it for the first time, Su Zaicheng almost doubted whether he had newly developed a profession. Isn't this the magician in the TV novels I often watch? In this world where things are all about science, the profession of magic is really unimaginable and evil. As Su Zaicheng's technique became more and more proficient, his mental power became more and more solidified. I didn't expect that magic sculpting technique can also improve mental power. The number of times drawn by the formation is more than, and Su Zaicheng's hand speed has naturally increased. It feels like within 20 minutes, hundreds of arrows have been drawn into formations by Su Zaicheng. There are not only the 5-pointed star array of 5 elements, but also various formations such as flaming meteorites, frozen thousands of miles, and so on. It can be regarded as a disguised form to strengthen Su Zaicheng again. You're done. The next step is to test the arrow. The next moment, Su Zaicheng appeared on the spot again. But there is an extra bow in his hand. Let me see how many star cores I can harvest today. After speaking, Su Zaicheng shot out the arrow engraved with the magic circle. Anyway, the target is a group. Su Zaicheng doesn't need to deliberately shoot which star. It has the bonus of area magic. Even if it hits the air and explodes in the middle of the planet belt, it can have the desired effect. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. In an instant, this space seemed to have a chain reaction, and the sound of explosions was endless. Looking at the flames, the planet belt was like firecrackers. As Su Zaicheng continued to shoot arrows with magic circles, they exploded one after another as if their fuses had been ignited. In the distance, thunder and lightning flickered for a while, burning meteorites fell for a while, and hailstones fell for a while. The scene was extremely spectacular. Although most of these arrows are ordinary arrows, they can't handle the large number. Just for a moment, Su Zaicheng actually cleared out a clearing in front of Su Zaicheng. The large planets that were originally floating in the distance have all become dust at this moment. This large piece of crushed stone floated in front of him, and there was still some special beauty. Coupled with the unextinguished flames and jumping arcs shot out by the advanced version of the arrow, it looks like a different kind of scenery. Su Zaicheng's arrow test was false, and collecting star cores was his goal. Blow up all of this space, not only can try the ability of the bow of elements that has increased to 40, but also can see how many star cores. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Today Su Zaicheng can be regarded as carrying forward the fine traditions of China. Alright, let me see where my little ones are. Su Zaicheng rubbed his hands, and closed his eyes impatiently. From God's perspective, in this sea of gravel, no corner or shadow could escape Su Zaicheng's sight. 10 minutes later. Looking at the 5 star cores floating in the hunter space, Su Zaicheng was about to shed tears of grievance. This F***king has been busy for a long time, only 5? System. Evaluate the purity of these few. Looking at several star cores with different file sizes, colors, and patterns, Su Zaicheng once again had a sense of luck in his heart. If there is a 2nd level and 4th level one, then it will make a lot of money. 1 is worth 10. Although the hope is very slim, it does not delay Su Zaicheng's reverie, who made us have the physique of the European emperor, and who made us be favored by the North God. 3 are at level 0.1, 1 is at level 0.5, and the last one is the largest and the darkest one reaches level 1. What is slap in the face? I just said that I am a super lucky star. The imagination is very beautiful, but the reality is slap in the face. I said, system, Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? Such a large film, the highest is a level. Is it time for you to update version 2.0 again? Su Zaichang is still unwilling to accept this fact, and until now Su Zaichang still firmly believes in the favor of the god of luck. Satisfy. Your luck is already unfathomable. If you are someone else, you may not be able to find a first-level star core even if you search through a galaxy. You have found so many places less than 100 million light-years away, and you are still not satisfied. Listening to Su Zaichang's non-stop complaints, Hanada's serious system couldn't help complaining about him. You mean I have to thank my European emperor physique? I really can't believe my luck is so bad. The god of luck has always favored me. You must have made a mistake. No matter how Superman artificial intelligence is, it is still dead. I don't believe it. You are checking it again. No matter what, Su Zaichang still can't accept this result. He belongs to the kind of person who won't die until he reaches the Yellow River, doesn't look back until he hits the south wall, and doesn't cry when he doesn't see the coffin. Ding. According to the host's question, the system came to a conclusion again after careful inspection. Well, let me tell you, you must be mistaken. There was indeed a mistake in the latest test. Come and say it out loud. Su Zaichang's luck is not covered. When the system said it was wrong, Su Zaichang became even more proud. Even the next step has been figured out how to ask the system for rewards. Such a serious mistake happened this time, and then he made up for it with his penetrating tongue. Why is it embarrassing? Others remain unchanged. The fourth one, after inspection, the dent on the surface is too large, and the pattern is somewhat blurred. That's why there was an error in judgment. The reason is that the advanced version of the arrow directly hit the star core, causing shapeshifting. Oh, just hurry up and tell me what level of purity it is. Don't hold your breath here. 1.1. Nani? Su Zaichang couldn't help shouting. Why am I so talkative? So unnecessary. If I exchanged it just now, it would be a few cities. What does it mean to stand higher and fall harder? Su Zaichang wanted to cry even more this time. Make you believe too much in your luck. Can this thing be 100% dependable? Forget it. Forget it. The universe is so big, I still don't believe I can't get a 10th level. Frustrated, Su Zaichang wanted to get some of these short-sought goods. It's just that Hawkeye completely let go, and this piece of space was blown to pieces by Su Zaichang, and it couldn't be done on the big planet, and the small planet was blown up again. It can be done like this. Suddenly, a place suddenly appeared in Su Zaichang's mind. Yeah. Why did you forget this place? Su Zaichang slapped his head, and directly used the ring to open a space crack. The place where Su Zaichang is now is the solar system, more precisely on Mars. Although Su Zaichang has not been to Mars, it does not mean that Su Zaichang does not know its location. A long time ago, even the world before Su Zaichang traveled, the Earth has already explored Mars. No matter how unclear, at least I have learned more or less basic knowledge about Mars in textbooks or photos. So the coordinates of Mars Su Zaichang is still right. The feeling of stepping on the ground. Stepping on Mars, Su Zaichang couldn't help jumping a few times. Looking from here to the Earth is a huge amounts of blue planet. As the second most suitable planet in the solar system for human survival, Mars is smaller than Earth. Although the surface of Mars is also pitted and uneven, it is not like the Moon. The large and small pits and low-lying places on the Moon can be filled with a mountain. Turning his head and looking to the other side, it was a small ring-shaped planet belt. A belt of planets between Mars and Jupiter. It is this planet belt that forms a natural barrier within Mars. Basically, meteorites that pass through the solar system will be blocked by the huge gravitational force of this planet belt, or become a part of it. Even if meteorites occasionally fly to the Earth, there is a high probability that they slipped and fell on this planet belt. As a former top student, Su Zaichang is quite aware of this, and that's why Su Zaichang thought of it in the first place. To say that it has existed for a long time, this planet belt should have lived for more than tens of thousands, maybe millions of years. Looking at the Mars under his feet, Su Zaichang slowly adapted to its history. You're lucky. I don't want your luck for now. Stepping on sparks under his feet, Su Zaichang dared to say so. If Su Zaichang has the strength to crush Mars today, maybe Mars will really suffer. Su Zaichang didn't care about whether he would break the laws of the planet's operation in the solar system. There is nothing to be afraid of if it is gone. Drink. Explode. Seeing Su Zaichang's legs bent into a bow, with one foot in front and the other behind, he took a steady horse stance. It fired a few more arrows in a row. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. The explosion sounded again. It's just that there are too many planets this time, and the explosion of this level is actually just a gap. Not only that, the small meteorites outside the explosion range, the dead planets, also collided randomly like billiard balls. Oh, come again. Seeing that his attack did not achieve the desired effect, Su Zicheng was also unconvinced and drew his bow and arrow again. Although this planet is not only a protective belt for Mars, but also a natural shield for the Earth and its surroundings, that it ran into Su Zicheng today, which is its bad luck. Currently, Su Zicheng still does not dare to completely destroy this planet belt, but to make it shrink and loosen the skin, Su Zicheng can still do it with confidence. This time Su Zicheng learned to be smart, and instead of shooting arrows at one place, he aimed closer. In this way, the gaps can be evenly thinned to achieve rain and dew evenly. Every time a gap is blown, Su Zicheng has to check to see if there is a star core. However, things backfired, as if Su Zicheng's luck had run out today, and he didn't find a single one after bombing for so long. Not only that, the shock of the explosion almost sent this piece of planet flying out. If it scattered like billiard balls, the entire solar system might suffer a catastrophe. Just like this, Su Zicheng had to use duplication skills and focus on dealing with the derailed planet, so that the efficiency was really slow. No. How long will it explode like this? It's really a bit daunting to wreak havoc outside your own home. Just when Su Zicheng's mind was spinning, he suddenly felt the introduction of a skill in his head rushing to his heart. Yeah. Why did you forget about Hawkeye? Su Zicheng slapped his thigh, feeling like he hated iron but steel. Why are you so stupid? Ever since he gained strength, his brain has degenerated instead, and this method will come without using his brain. As Hawkeye lifted off, Su Zicheng once again looked at this space from the perspective of God. With the concentration of mental power, the effect of Hawkeye became more and more obvious. After a while, the original normal perspective of Hawkeye gradually became blurred. After waiting for a while, the entire small planet belt became transparent like a thermal imager. This is the function, perspective, developed by the new level 6 Hawkeye. Not only can you see through walls, but when Su Zicheng concentrates, you can also see through a small planet. Although it is not big, it still has a penetration distance of tens of meters. That would be much better, clear at a glance. Good, good. Looking at the meteorite planet that looked like a transparent glass ball in the gray darkness below, Su Zicheng grinned. Isn't it more efficient to use eyes to check which planet has a star core than destroying all of them? It is efficient and safe. Just 5 minutes later. No, God, the solar system has existed for so long. Why doesn't it even have a star core? It may be that Su Zicheng looked too impatiently and didn't even find a star core with a purity of 0.1. If you don't believe me, do it again. This time, Su Zicheng held his breath and checked one by one to prevent errors like the system. He even moved his field of vision and extended it as much as possible to get a wider range. Damn it, I have it. Finally, in the boundless gray darkness, a yellow fluorescent light appeared in Su Zicheng's sight. This light is too weak. If it is not for Su Zicheng's strong mental power, it may not be possible to send it. Now that he found out, Su Zicheng set off immediately. The advanced version of arrows has been consumed, and the damage of ordinary arrows is too low, so Su Zicheng simply went up to split it. Hey, I accept it. After finishing speaking, Su Zicheng raised the Flood Dragon Trident and slashed down. Clang. However, unexpectedly, Su Zicheng's chop didn't break through, and was even bounced back. Although it was a random blow, it couldn't be so weak. Come again. This time Su Zicheng used 80% of his strength. However, the result was still surprising. Damn. How long has your planet existed? It's so hard. Su Zicheng doesn't believe in evil. His strength has reached this level, and he can still be bullied by him. The trident in his hand danced quickly, the third style of spring and autumn saber technique, flying horizontally. Open. Su Zicheng yelled fiercely, and the tip of the halberd hit the target. It was finally broken by Su Zicheng. It's just that this time it didn't crack, but the whole thing exploded. Originally, this planet is not small. Coupled with Su Zicheng's great strength, the broken rocks from the explosion unexpectedly scattered in all directions. All the fragmented meteorites next to each other were all knocked out. At this moment, no less than 10 planets were derailed. Damn, broke the goods. Seeing that the shape was not good, Su Zicheng didn't have time to check it, and directly received the yellow light into the hunter's space. He raised his trident and chased after him. These meteorites can't be allowed to act recklessly. If they encounter any planet, it will really be a big deal. Although Su Zicheng is not afraid, but at least now he still has to live on the Earth. The villa and his home are still there. Once the meteorite is out of orbit, the speed will become very fast. In addition, the 9 planets in the solar system are not very far apart. Therefore, several of them are about to reach the surface atmosphere of Mars. Sooner or later it will reach the moon. At the moment's weakened version of the space gem ring is still cooling down, and Su Zaicheng can only rely on Su Zaicheng's own speed to turn the tide. 1. After all, he is a man who goes faster than the speed of light with all his strength, so there is no need to worry about speed. In less than a second, the nearest one has been shattered. 2. 3. 4. You're the only one left. Seeing the meteorite so close at hand, Su Zaicheng gradually turned cold. This one is the largest one, less than 20,000 meters away from the moon. If it hits the moon, the consequences will be disastrous. Break it for me. With a low sound secretly, a halberd flew out. Suddenly, the temperature in the space dropped sharply, and Su Zaicheng also discovered something unusual. There seems to be snowflakes floating in front of me, and they are getting bigger and bigger. Could it be? The passive trigger. In fact, before Su Zaicheng knew it, the Flood Dragon Trident had already been swung thousands of times, so it was not surprising that the secondary skill appeared at this moment. It's just that this subsidiary skill is also the first time Su Zaicheng has seen it. Following Su Zaicheng's halberd, a piercing blue light appeared in front of the trident. The snowflakes all over the sky seemed to be attracted, and all condensed towards this blue light. Extending out, it is like the blade glow of a trident, but this blade glow has the cold air of a humble person. If someone stands in front of the trident at the moment, he will turn into an ice sculpture in less than 3 seconds, even if the blade light has not touched him. Looking at the meteorite that is right in front of the trident and is still within the attack range of the trident. The meteorite, which was gradually dissipating heat due to friction, also gradually cooled down at this moment. Even the speed has slowed down a bit. It's like entering a world of ice and snow. All the objects that were stained by the snowflakes were all frozen. Autat. The sword light came in a flash, and when it first touched the surface of the meteorite, a cold current directly froze him. The trident slashed on the meteorite. Wow. The entire meteorite had been chopped into pieces, and upon closer inspection, even the inside was turned into ice balls. This is iced from the inside out. The frozen sky burial flower seems to have the same power as this frozen 1,000 miles magic array. It seems to be more powerful. On the surface, Su Zaicheng couldn't tell the difference between the two, both were freezing attacks. It can only be distinguished from the power, but the frozen sky burial flower is a subsidiary skill of the Flood Dragon Trident, and cannot be released at will like frozen 1,000 miles. Same as Dormammu Ray, just use it as a sneak attack skill. The specific difference between the two skills or their respective uses should be left to be developed slowly in the future. Looking at the fragments, they collapsed with a crash, some deviated from the route, and there were actually a few pieces of ice debris that rushed towards the moon at a faster speed. It's such a hassle. Fortunately, the skill of burying flowers in the ice sky is long-lasting. As Su Zaicheng approached them, the ice and snow world followed the Flood Dragon Trident and flew forward. Boom boom boom. Just to be on guard, 2 pieces that were already much smaller hit the moon. Suddenly, Su Zaicheng seemed to hear the sound of the machine being overwhelmed. Even gravels with a diameter of less than a few meters are extremely powerful. Perhaps for Su Zaicheng, they can determine their whereabouts with a few gestures, and perhaps for the Earth, it is just the end of a large crater, but the moon it's different. How can the volume of the moon be compared with that of the Earth? Although the moon cannot be destroyed this time, it should still be possible to add a crater to the moon and push it out of the lunar orbit. Seeing your moon shifting bit by bit, Su Zaicheng was startled. This is not acceptable. If this is the case, the Earth will also suffer. While the moon was slowly shifting, the Earth became tense. One by one countries urgently held press conferences, and even some countries that were still in the dark were all boiling up, either for some reason, or because the moon's displacement was discovered in the first place. A series of consequences caused by the deviation of the moon from its orbit are intensifying on the Earth. The river tide is rising, the sea level is rising, and the horizons of some island countries are gradually being submerged by seawater. I believe that if this continues, these island countries will not be able to survive dawn and will be completely submerged in seawater. Seeing the moon getting closer and closer to the Earth, people suddenly panicked. Isn't this a sign of the end of the world? That's right, for the people on Earth, if any major event is not closely related to their interests, I'm afraid they will pretend to be indifferent. It's the end of the world that wakes everyone up. It's up to me. Seeing that the moon's center was about to reach and was about to leave the course, Su Zaicheng finally moved. As soon as it got closer, The snowflakes that hadn't disappeared fell on the moon again, freezing the whole moon in just such a short while. Now it has completely become a Gwangan palace. That is to say, after freezing the moon, the burial of flowers in the ice sky is completely over. Indeed, this skill, like Su Zaichang, is very long-lasting. Give me back, Grandma, I'll just get some star cores. What? It's too difficult for me. It moved in an instant, and came directly to the side where the moon deviated, and hit the moving moon. When Su Zaichang flew into the moon, he felt as if his shoulders hit an iron block. The moon is back in orbit again. Damn it. Which astronaut said that the Earth is full of bunkers? This F***king is more solid than a medicine ball. Fortunately, the volume of the moon is relatively small, and its mass is not large. Su Zaichang's collision is basically equivalent to the small meteorite fragments hitting the moon just now. Landing on the moon, Su Zaichang only gave a little help, and he felt light all over his body, as if he was going to fly. I heard that there is something shady on the back of the moon. Su Zaichang intends to explore this as the closest planet to Earth. Since the Earth has secrets, as a neighbor, it is impossible to tell what is hidden. The moon is very small, and Su Zaichang seemed to be juggling, bouncing, all the way to the place where the sun can't shine. After a while, the dividing line between light and darkness appeared in front of my eyes. Su Zaichang walked in without any hesitation. With Hawkeye's night vision ability, Su Zaichang is not at all worried about not being able to see the ground in the dark. In the darkness, the other side of the moon is also covered with craters, and there seems to be no difference in the potholes everywhere. After walking for about 10 miles, I can even see the sun outside in the dark. Still found nothing. But just when Su Zaichang was about to give up and return, suddenly a reflective metallic luster caught his attention. Going closer, the piece of metal only leaked a corner. Su Zaichang carefully peeled it apart, and unexpectedly a larger piece of metal connected together leaked out. It's like a building is buried by yellow sand and only one brick leaks out. As it gets deeper and deeper, the wall where the brick is located is gradually leaked out, waiting for further excavation and waste. Su Zaichang doesn't have a hobby of archaeology. Since there are still a lot below, Su Zaichang simply doesn't dig. Hawkeye's see-through function is turned on, and you can see its whole picture directly. Because compared with those planet meteorites destroyed by Su Zaichang today, the volume of the moon is still very large. Therefore, the penetration ability of perspective cannot directly see through the interior of the moon. It is also not known whether the moon has a star core. So this is why Su Zaichang also came to the back of the moon to find out for himself, instead of seeing through it. Under the perspective, the metal buried on the surface of the moon is gradually exposed to Su Zaichang's vision. 2 meters. 200 meters. As Su Zaichang's perspective got higher and higher, Su Zaichang's heart became more and more shocked. Because the metal that appeared in Su Zaichang's eyes was getting bigger and bigger, and before he knew it, he had reached a distance of several hundred meters, and he still couldn't see its whole picture clearly. What does this mean? This thing is so big that it has already exceeded the range that Su Zaichang can see. F***K. What the hell is this thing? Now Su Zaichang is 100% sure that there must be some ulterior secrets between the Earth and the moon. According to the approximate shape, Su Zaichang guessed that it should be a space battleship or some kind of secret base. What it is, Su Zaichang's current ability is also unknown. Since I can't see what you are, I don't know if I can go in and have a look. Originally Su Zaichang was full of doubts, coupled with strong curiosity. Su Zaichang really wanted to know what is, and the unknown is alluring. Even if there is danger, Zaichang will make a breakthrough. Maybe curiosity killed the cat is Su Zaichang's. No matter how hard it is to have hunter space and teleportation to save my life, I'm afraid of wool. Without further ado, with an instant movement, Su Zaichang disappeared in place. When Su Zaichang woke up again, he didn't know how many days it was at noon. As soon as I woke up, I felt a severe headache, as if there was a bug biting me indiscriminately. Although meditation has been playing a role, it still can't cover up the pain that goes deep into the soul. Even the milky white light emitted by the soul pendant, which has always treated the symptoms and root causes of this aspect, seemed a little dimmed. It wasn't until his stomach howled a few times that Su Zaichang endured the pain and got up from the bed. What is left in the refrigerator is the previous bread. It is not hot anymore, just pick it up and put it in your mouth. Turn on the TV to see if anything has been going on recently. This is also Su Zaichang's habit of getting up every day. Friends of the audience, good afternoon, everyone. This is the latest news about the sunny day and white moon 3 days ago. According to the pictures taken by enthusiastic astronomers, it can be seen. I don't know if it's because of the light reflected by the sun, or because of the moon itself. A white fluorescence appears across the lunar surface. It's as if someone put another ice crystal mask on the moon. Not only are the craters invisible, but even the satellites around the moon are covered by this reflected white light from the camera. And the moon was seriously out of orbit at that time. But I don't know why it suddenly re-entered the original position. The specific circumstances allow us to await further research. Hello, this is Queen's Television. If you want to talk about the hottest topic recently, it can't be separated from the astronomical event 3 days ago. Not only is the moon off course, according to the observation of the Stark radio telescope, the planet belt between Mars and Jupiter also seems to be abnormal. Please watch the specific video next. In the video, Su Zaicheng was shooting the planet belt with the bow of elements. It's just that only the scene when the magic circle exploded was captured in the picture, and Su Zaicheng was not photographed. Maybe it's because Su Zaicheng is too young. After all, there is an unknown number of Earths in the middle, and it is already amazing to be able to discover the explosion. As you can see, the small planet belt seems to put firework on it. Judging from the color, some experts pointed out that it was an explosion caused by the scouting spacecraft sent by aliens being hit by a meteorite. So is this incident a supernatural event, or is it really that aliens are preparing to gather and attack the Earth again? The higher-level government has also attached great importance to this incident. Let's hear what authoritative experts say next. I think it's a harbinger of the end of the world. Due to the overexploitation of human beings, the Earth has been overwhelmed. Now, it is going to ask the aliens for help. The end of the world is not far from the middle. Let's escape from Earth quickly. Beep 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 beep. The so-called authoritative experts stopped before finishing the news. In front of the TV, Su Zaicheng was still expressionless, as if he was used to such a scene. That's right, as we all know, the United States is a very open country, and the people know everything and say everything, let alone in front of the whole world on TV, even in front of their national leaders. As far as this authoritative expert said, if he had been in China, he would have been charged with a series of charges such as spreading rumors, making fishing boats, and causing fear of Germany. Therefore, the United States TV station will often stop suddenly while broadcasting. Sometimes it happens that the microphone is forgotten to be turned off in the recording studio, and the audience can listen to an interesting story of a battle, or a fight. It's boring, I'm afraid you don't know, the Earth is almost gone. Su Zaicheng shook his head and said to himself, unexpectedly, my unintentional actions had such a big impact on the people on the Earth. What about alien invasion and the end of the world? One can really talk about the other. There is also the new term of sunny day and white moon, which Su Zaicheng finds funny when he hears it. Isn't that because the icy burial flowers freeze the surface of the moon, and then the sun shines on it, and the reflected light is stronger, which causes the moon to be brighter than the sun during the day? Hey, experts, connoisseurs. After resting for a while and feeling better, Su Zaicheng planned to go to the street to replenish food and fill up the refrigerator again. While brushing his teeth and washing his hands, suddenly, a question popped into Su Zaicheng's mind. 3 days ago. It seems that 2 news reports said that was 3 days ago. Why'd I have no memory? I seem to remember that the last place that appeared was the moon. In the next day, no matter what Su Zaicheng thought, even if he poked his head, he still didn't know why he suddenly returned to the villa from the moon. He clearly remembered that he was still on the moon the day before yesterday, so why did he suddenly wake up and run to the bed? Is this all a dream? Is Dormammu fake too? What the hell happened in between? Why did the memory disappear? Yeah, what about this one? The next moment, Su Zaicheng suddenly disappeared. In the hunter space, Su Zaicheng held a yellow ball and frowned. No, to be precise, Su Zaicheng was holding the ball with both hands, as if it was very heavy. Strange, isn't this the star core? All of this is true. What happened? This time Su Zaicheng encountered a ghost, supernatural events occurred, the star core, the moon, Mars, the small planet belt, and even the mysterious metal on the moon. All these are true, so why would Su Zaicheng can't remember what happened in those 3 days? It was as if the memory of this period of time was erased by a big hand in invisible. Letting Su Zaicheng think about it would be futile. Forget it, if you don't remember it, that's it. By the way, system, what level is the purity of this star core? Why does this one seem different from the others? It will shine, but it's still so heavy, my hands feel a little hard. Since God didn't want Su Zaicheng to know something, Su Zaicheng simply looked away. If you don't let me know, one day I will investigate and find out. Isn't it just 3 days of memory? There is such a bug in the hunter system, Afraid of not being able to figure it out? Anyway, seeing it all away, Su Zaicheng stopped thinking about those things, and instead became interested in the star core in his hand. The star core in the host's hand is level 3. Then why is it so heavy? Cohesion time starts in millions of years. And why does emit yellow light? Because it's level 3. All 3 grades are in this color? Number. Oshiete, the system can kill you if you elaborate. It may be because Su Zaicheng disliked the system for being too verbose last time, but this time, the system has become a simplified version, asking questions and answering them, without a single extra word. Does the system also have a small temper? The first level star core has been around for 100 years, starting in 1,000 years. The second level star core is tens of thousands of years old, starting from tens of thousands of years. The third level star core has millions, starting from millions of years. The fourth level star core is tens of millions, starting in tens of millions of years. Sure enough, because of Su Zaicheng's words, the system started its tirade again. These things are completely irrelevant to what Su Zaicheng wants to know. Hey, forget it, I had to listen to the order I gave. It's all about supplementing new knowledge and learning. And so on. Although I plan to listen to it, let's just omit these nonsense. Not necessarily, the current strength of the host is not enough to destroy that kind of planet. Is this despised by the system? Then tell me what a 10th level star core looks like. Or did I miss it when I was traveling through space? Tell me, and let me give up. No, the host has seen it with his own eyes, and even touched it. Nani? Really, when did it happen? Su Zaicheng never expected that the system would have seen and touched a 10th level star core. According to Su Zaicheng's strength, shouldn't he be able to touch it at all? According to your universe, the 10th level star core is equivalent to infinite gems. I rub it. True or false? Then why is it so light? And why are their colors different? And why? As soon as the system mentioned infinite gems, a door suddenly opened in Su Zaicheng's heart, but there seemed to be many unpredictable things. First, the wireless gemstones in this universe were born in the early days of the universe. I don't know how many billions of years it has been condensed, but it is certain that it started in hundreds of billions of years. Because wireless gems are not brewed in the planet, they are exposed to the universe for a lifetime, and the essence of hundreds of billions of years has been washed away by time, and I don't know how much has passed. It is precisely because of this that what is left is the concentrated version of the purest energy, that is, in your ancient texts, concentration is the essence. Secondly, the star core above the second level has a color, but the color will change according to the place of birth, the environment, and the external pressure. Any more question? The system also explained the cause and effect clearly in one breath, but these answers are obviously beyond Su Zaicheng's cognition. Wait, I digest and digest. Oh, by the way, what did you mean when you said that I can't destroy such a planet with a 10th level star core? That is to say, even if I found the same 10th level star core, there is nothing I can do about it? The system said so, so the 3-level star core in Su Zaicheng's hand that emitted yellow light also made sense. Literally, there is no way. The system then answers Su Zaicheng's question. Because the current strength of the host can't find it at all. Then what you just said was fart. Being despised by the system again, Su Zaicheng really hurt his self-esteem. Stepping on Mars, hitting the moon, and fighting Dormammu twice, Su Zaicheng, who thought he was okay, let others say that you are not good, and he is also an artificial intelligence. The way is to upgrade the hunter space, accept the planet together, and wait for the strength to grow before taking it out. System, you have been going around for a long time, and you have been going around in a big circle, just to let me make more money quickly and upgrade the hunter space. Su Zaicheng saw through the system's small thoughts at once. But I have to say that since I upgraded the hunter system to version 2.0, it really looks like a real intelligent eye. I feel that it is not only so interesting, but also a lot more convenient. Not to mention the shopping malls inside the system, and this artificial intelligence service, it's simply not too cool. On Earth, if you have any questions, you can find Du Niang. Here at Su Zaicheng, if you have any questions, you can ask the system. Moreover, the system is many times stronger than Du Niang. While Su Zaicheng was still immersed in the system's reply, a loophole suddenly caught Su Zaicheng's attention. That's right, it's the loophole that the system personally said. System, let me ask you, what do you mean by this universe and this universe? Could it be that the universe I'm in is just one of thousands of universes? Although Su Zaicheng, who came across time, had some knowledge of the Marvel multi-universe, such as Little Spider-Man, in fact, There was a scene where little Spider-Man was already dead, and the person who took up his task was from the multi-universe, or it is another him in the parallel universe. But Su Zicheng was somewhat surprised when this matter was revealed from the system. Indeed. Then why didn't you say that before? The host has never asked a similar question. Then tell me in detail. The current level of the host hunter is A, and there is no permission for the time being. Huh. No authority. This time, Su Zicheng was completely shocked. They are all A-level bounty hunters. What else is Su Zicheng not authorized to ask about? Could it be that my time travel was not originally a coincidence? Or is this hunter system not originally built for Su Zicheng? Or maybe Su Zicheng traveled to the Marvel world for some kind of mission, something. If not, then why does the system hide something? This series of questions woke up Su Zicheng instantly. Originally, I thought that the most reliable hunter system in the world was the relying on hunter system, but suddenly discovered some flaws at this time, which made Su Zicheng have reason to doubt. Thinking of the memory of the 3 days lost for no reason, the mysterious metal on the moon, and the words Dormammu said, and the earth hides its secrets, Su Zicheng not only had a chilling feeling. Thinking about it with horror, suddenly Su Zicheng felt an unexplained chill rising up instantly. And just as Su Zicheng was filling these pictures in his head, the white light circle above his head flickered again. Forget it. If it comes, it will be safe. Soldiers come to block water and earth to cover. My fate is my own decision. It's a big deal, and I will never let those people succeed if I risk my life in the future. Su Zicheng swore secretly in his heart. System, upgrade my mind control to level 6. Mind control, the current level is level 4, and it takes 60 million to upgrade to level 6. It is detected that the current host level is A, and there is a 40% discount. After the discount, it will be 36 million. Yes, no. Yes. Ding, the upgrade was successful. Balance. 1,133,200,000,000. Su Zicheng looked at the string of numbers indifferently, and did not respond extraneously. As for why Su Zicheng suddenly thought of upgrading the skill of mind control, there was a reason. The ability from level 4 spying to level 5 mind control is to enhance the ability of mind control and increase the number of people that can be controlled at the same time. The specifics are yet to be developed. But the most attractive point is that it can enhance one's own spiritual power. It can also protect your mind from being controlled. For example, Loki's mind gem scepter has no way to control the mind at level 5. It should be common sense that mental power and the mind are related to the brain, and memory is also stored in the memory cells of the human brain. Therefore, enhancing mental power and mind control is undoubtedly a way of enhancing memory. That's right. Su Zicheng is trying to see if he can use this method to retrieve lost memories. Level 5 may still be a bit difficult, but level 6 should be fine. After the upgrade was completed, Su Zicheng didn't want to delay for a moment. Teleportation lay back on the bed. Brace yourself for this explosive message. Let's start. Su Zicheng closed his eyes and concentrated his mental power in the place of the brain. Mind control is also released, but it is not to control others, but to control one's own mind. Force the brain to dig deep into the place where the memory is stored. After a while, Su Zicheng seemed to be in a mysterious place. Suddenly, the mysterious metal on the moon appeared in front of Su Zicheng again. It seems to be useful. Su Zicheng continued to take control. Before Su Zicheng could react in the next second, he actually changed another place. There are all metal substances here, and it looks like a very high-tech thing. This should be the inside of the metal, it's really empty inside. Zlazlazlazlazla. Just when Su Zicheng wanted to go forward and continue to see what happened, a picture of the TV freezes unexpectedly appeared in my mind. It's like you were watching a program you like, and suddenly the internet is disconnected, and the TV screen suddenly switches to a full screen of snowflakes, and, accompanied by harsh noise. Not only that, Su Zicheng only felt a little dizzy for a moment, and the feeling of splitting headache reappeared without warning. Do you really want me to know something? It seems that there is a mysterious force in invisible that prevents Su Zicheng from continuing to explore. But Su Zicheng is the kind of character who retreats in the face of difficulties. Even if he endures the pain today, he will probably continue. More mental power envelops the mind again, like a doctor increasing the dose. I don't know when it started. Even the soul pendant released a soft milky white light in an attempt to slow down Su Zicheng's pain and protect him. The metal screen appeared again, but this time it was in a different place. This appears to be the control room inside the metal. There is only a metal narrow bridge behind a door, extending to the end. When Su Zaicheng walked over, there was only a spherical console-like thing there. Under the narrow bridge is boundless blackness, just like a boundless abyss. Even Hawkeye, who can have night vision, can't see through what's below. This situation is a bit like the secret room that Professor X of the Mutant Academy used to hack into other people's brains. The front of the console is not similar to other spaceships, bases, or any aircraft carrier with a giant screen and front glass, but a whole wall of another kind of metal. Moreover, this wall is not inlaid in one piece, but inserted one by one, a bit like barbs, and like fish scales, forming such a wall one by one. What's even more amazing is that these scales can still move, like fish gills, rising and falling with breathing. From this, Su Zaicheng can be quite sure that this place is a concealed or possibly remaining large space battleship. Moreover, with the current level of science and technology on the Earth, this level of civilization will not be touched at all after adding a decade or a century. Horror, who would have thought that such a piece of high civilization and high latitude exists on the moon next to the Earth? Zla 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 zla. With the sound of clattering, the picture blurred again. It was as if Su Zaicheng had been forcefully kicked out again. Even the pain-sensing nerves are already sensitive to the limit. Pain level up. Is it impossible that these 3 days of memory can only recall these fragments? Although it is 2 fragments, it is still coherent in general, but it has no substantive effect. So what if you just know it's a space battleship? What Su Zaicheng wanted to know was why. Why is there such a space battleship on the moon? Who parked it here, and why it was buried? What does it do? And why stop others from exploring and delete Su Zaicheng's memory? This series of questions weighed on Su Zaicheng's chest like a stone. Damn, the big deal is death. I want to see what's going on. He gritted his teeth again to suppress the pain, and his mental power spewed out again. Mind control has also reached its limit. According to Su Zaicheng's speculation, if he can't see anything now, he probably has no chance. Even the current Su Zaicheng has reached the limit. This feeling lasted for a long time, and Su Zaicheng couldn't bear it. Just when Su Zaicheng entered again, the invisible white light above his head flickered again. At the moment, if Jiali was there, she would definitely be shocked by everything in front of her eyes. Because at this moment, Su Zaicheng's head was tightly entwined by the milky white light released by the soul pendant. Moreover, the dense white light was almost condensed into substance, and Su Zaicheng's face, let alone his expression, could not be seen clearly from the outside. Definitely all this happened without Su Zaicheng's knowledge. The network is reconnected, and the TV has a signal again. At the same time, Su Zaicheng also returned to the control room of the battleship. This time, however, the scene was even more dramatic. At this moment, there is actually an extra human face on the ordinary fish scale wall. Yes, a human face is bumped from the inside out, just like Lego blocks. Su Zaicheng tried hard to see what it looked like. Tall nose bridge, big eyes, and normal face shape. For some reason, Su Zaicheng felt that this face was somewhat similar to his own. However, when Su Zaicheng wanted to take a closer look and try to remember its appearance, he found that he couldn't recall it. It's like the trick I used to do to Tony, Natasha Romanoff. Let them see their own face, but when they turn their heads slightly, or their eyes deviate from Su Zaicheng's face, then this face becomes blurred in their perception. No matter what method I tried to remember this face, but it was all in vain. No matter how hard you try. Suddenly, a voice pierced into Su Zaicheng's mind, and the face spoke. You came? You know me. Is there anything more frightening than being in an unfamiliar environment? Suddenly a wall says, you are here, in a very familiar tone to you. You came too early, now is not the time. Just when Su Zaicheng was about to ask something, he felt a sudden flash of light in his mind. In the villa, Su Zaicheng suddenly woke up and sat up. Eyes opened instantly like copper bells. For a moment, I felt like my head was about to explode. This can no longer be described as pain. It's like the feeling of ordinary people inserting a toothpick into the toenail, and then kicking it against the wall. For Su Zaicheng, it is that every cell and every nerve releases painful messages. Only such a strong pain is warning Su Zaicheng that all this is not a dream, but a memory that has been erased deep in his heart. It is estimated that if I try to use this method to force the awakening in the future, I will not be able to do it. The soul pendant on his chest flickered and then went out. It's all over. In the bathtub, Su Zaicheng put cold water, trying to suppress the unspeakable pain. Who is that man? What does he mean? What does it mean to be early? Even though he was dizzy, Su Zaicheng still wanted to try his best to remember the appearance and voice of that person. Naturally, there is no need to mention the appearance, and there is no clue at all. As for the voice, you can't tell what it looks like after being processed by something, and it is extremely difficult to remember like the appearance. For several days, Su Zaichang was immersed in this matter and couldn't extricate himself. The more I thought about it, the fainter it became until the end I couldn't even remember what it looked like at all. It's just that those two words still linger in my ears. It is estimated that Su Zaichang will not go to that place again in a short time. Since people do not want you to know certain things, then Su Zaichang will not force it. At least there is no need to plan for now, but when Su Zaichang becomes stronger in the future, these things must follow the rope to find out the truth. This time, Su Zaichang felt that he had rested for half a month. After that incident, he also focused on improving his strength. The big trees and various flower beds in the backyard of the villa have witnessed Su Zaichang's magic circles one after another these days. Take advantage of these few days to rest. Su Zaichang didn't go out much, and basically stayed at home when he went out to eat and replenish food. Not to mention the golf course and other entertainment items, even Su Zaichang, who has always loved roast horse meat, has never been there. These days, the backyard of the villa has become a place Su Zaichang often goes to. Not only added the arrows of the magic array, but also depicted many on the dragon trident. It may be that there is plenty of time, but Su Zaichang actually carved magic circles on the stone, all kinds of weird little things. This is what Su Zaichang suddenly thought of. All in all, it feels like saving a lot of money. A more powerful magic circle is almost equivalent to a burst TNT, and a burst TNT is worth 100 million. Su Zaichang has portrayed so many magic circles, do you think it will save you do not know how many billions? Imagine that two people are fighting, and a small stone is suddenly thrown here. The enemy will definitely be careless, but the stone is secondary, and the magic circle is the real killer. I don't know if the bang explosion can give him a big surprise. However, it may be because the texture of the stone is too fragile. It would be good if 2 out of 10 stones can bear it. Not only hoarding a large number of magic circles, Su Zaichang also familiarized himself with all the recently copied magic. Not to mention being familiar with it by heart, it can be done like an arm. Moreover, I don't know why after going through that incident, I didn't gain nothing and was confused. How to put it, I still got a little gain, such as my mental strength improved a lot. Su Zaichang didn't know how to improve mental strength, so he could only work hard on skills and equipment, and this time he accidentally improved it by a large amount. The weather is warm today and I don't know what's going on at the school. After so many days of rest, Su Zaichang almost came out of the shadows, and became the real man who was fearless again. Today Su Zaichang is going to visit the school. After all, there is still a layer of student status. Not going to school for 10.5 months is a bit unreasonable. Moreover, there are many young people in the school, which is full of vigor and vitality, which is more conducive to Su Zaichang's revival. Speaking of young people, Su Zaichang may have forgotten that he is also a young man. It's just that he has been a human being for 2 lives, and his Xing has long been far superior to that of his peers. Hello, audience friends, the next thing you're watching is another bombing in Queens. The location of the incident is still the place where the last explosion occurred. It is said that the original site of the house was invested and established by Stark Corporation. The original owner of the house was investigated as a high school student at Midtown High School. Then, who on earth is actually attacking a high school student over and over again? Huh? Midtown High? Isn't that my school? The Stark company invested in the house that Tony built for me, right? Su Zaichang, who had just come out of the backyard of the villa and planned to go to school, heard the news, teleported and sat directly on the sofa in front of the TV. Since Su Zaichang lived here for a long time, TV news has almost become a medium for him to understand the outside world, so the TV news is basically on. Take a closer look. His meow. Isn't at Su Zaichang's home in Queens. You grandma. Why do you like to blow up my house? What kind of grudge is this? Counting this is the second time that Su Zaichang has been bombed by others. Looks like the impact last time wasn't good enough. This time, if you don't beat your parents, I, Su Zaichang, am not that Su Zaichang, and I am not that indomitable bounty hunter. Originally, Su Zaichang had been a little depressed by the incident half a month ago. This time it just happened, and I was worried that I had no place to vent my fire. You said when you couldn't blow it up, you had to take advantage of my anger to make troubles. Just in time, it also saved Su Zaichang from going to see the house. Just now Su Zaichang was still wondering if he should stop by his home in the center of Queens on the way to school. Su Zaichang hasn't seen it since Tony rebuilt it. How to put it? It was left to him by Su Zaichang's parents in the Marvel world. Besides, as the starting point of Su Zaichang Bounty Hunter, there is some special meaning here. Also wanted to see if anyone left quests in the house. Let Su Zaicheng earn extra money by the way. Now it's all right, let's save it together. In an instant, Su Zaicheng came to Queen's again. Looking at the pile of ruins in front of him, the anger in Su Zaicheng's heart grew stronger. I don't know if I don't look at it. The more I look at it, the more angry I get. Hey, what's going on here? Su Zaicheng took an old woman next to him to inquire about the situation. Although it was his own house, if he couldn't come up, he asked who blew up my house. However, when the aunt turned her head, Su Zaicheng realized that it seemed that the aunt was also watching when her home was bombed for the first time. As expected, it is not only a hobby of Chinese people to join in the fun. This stuff is human nature, it doesn't know borders at all. Hey, it's you again, the bombing, didn't you see the police? It's a pity, the good house was bombed again. When Su Zaicheng heard it, it was over. Trying to find any useful information from this kind of character was simply a dream. Hey, young man, you know, it's been a rough night here lately. You should also live in this area, right? As a neighbor, I kindly remind you. At your age, it's best not to go out at night. Recently, I really don't know what's wrong, it's too. Did you see anyone haunting here at night? It seems that this aunt is also a resident of this neighborhood, so it is really possible that she will know something. When it comes to finding the murderer, Su Zaicheng is really not good at it. The methods used by criminals in the Marvel world to cover up their criminal methods are really too gimmicky. They surreptitiously blew up your home to erase all traces, leaving no clues for you. It is very annoying. There is no real culprit to be found, and even the omnipotent police of the United States can't do anything about it. This matter, whoever encounters it, is unlucky. Then, I heard that there are ninjas at night? Ninja, hand. Upon hearing this, Su Zaicheng immediately thought of this mysterious organization. The Bo 2 who killed one of their 5 fingers last time should be holding a grudge. As a dark organization that has existed in the United States for so long, Lenovo should not be able to bear this bad breath so easily. Thank you. After finishing speaking, Su Zaicheng strode away without even hearing what the aunt behind said clearly. Hey, Zaicheng, why are you here? At the entrance of a dark alley nearby, a voice suddenly called to Su Zaicheng who was about to teleport away. Hey, Peter, what a coincidence, why are you here, don't you have class today? Well, today is Friday, there is no class in the afternoon, so I came back early. Skip class. Su Zaicheng looked at little Spider-Man with indescribable eyes. Others don't know, but Su Zaicheng doesn't know. The mind-reading technique is very clear to the chest. Little Spider-Man sneaked out again to punish the murderer. It happened to collide with the alley in front of Su Zaicheng. This should be where little Spider-Man changed his uniform. Quite chic. Zaicheng, did you know that your house was bombed again? Little Spider-Man fluffed his hair in embarrassment, and hurriedly changed the topic to cover up his embarrassment. Coincidentally, it is also the reason for calling Su Zaicheng. Yeah. Oh yeah, Peter, have you spotted any suspicious people around my house lately? The most Spider-Man-like, good neighbor, in Queens, little Spider-Man sure knows something. Su Zaicheng can be sure that it's the hand with the aunt's words just now. Although it is necessary to vent anger, it is meaningful for talents to vent this nameless anger. You can't cut off your money because of this. You know what, I found this near your house. Saying that, little Spider-Man took out a cross flying darts from his bosom. The stone was hammered, and it must have been left by the mad ninja of the hand. Thinking that his true face was also spread by these madmen, Su Zaicheng was even more furious. Thank you, Peter, I still have things to do, I'm leaving first, see you next time. Now that he knew the real culprit, Su Zaicheng didn't want to delay for a moment. His hands were itching unbearably, and someone urgently needed someone to vent his anger for Su Zaicheng. This time without blood, Su Zaicheng will definitely not let it go. Okay, see you next time. Oh, yes, this is really what I picked up. Looking at Su Zaicheng's hurried back, little Spider-Man forcefully explained. Su Zaicheng definitely knew what was going on, and he could even think about it with his toes. It must be that this guy discovered the mad ninja of the hand when he came out to patrol, followed all the way here. After a big battle, they escaped and left this place behind. Since it's Friday and there's no class, then the business is coming. Although Su Zaicheng doesn't know where the hand members are, as long as he knows who they are, Su Zaicheng will naturally be able to find them. On the sofa, Su Zaicheng closed his eyes, and his mental power gradually flew away following the paper crane. Since buying the soul tracking technique, this thing is rarely used. The last time it was taken out in the upgrade Hunter Space 2.0, It was almost thrown away by Su Zaicheng as trash. It worked again today. Don't ask why you need to use tracking paper cranes when you have soul tracking skills. Because the tracking method of the soul tracking technique can only be tracked by planting spiritual seeds in the opponent's soul. If you haven't met, you can't plant seeds, so what to follow? For this kind of people who have only met each other and never planted spiritual seeds, it is still convenient to follow the paper cranes. Coincidentally, when Su Zaicheng was just starting out as a bounty hunter, he was lucky enough to meet a member of the Five Fingers of the Hand. That's right, it's Mrs. Gao. With a fairly good memory, Su Zaicheng can still imagine what she looks like. Follow the paper cranes all the way to flight. The disadvantages are just like that. It's been flying for 3 hours, and I'm still flying in the sky, and I don't know where I'm going. If it weren't for Su Zaicheng's must-kill mentality, he might have collapsed in a hurry. This is why Su Zaicheng is eager to eliminate this thing. Not enough time to waste time, doctor. Regardless of whether Su Zaicheng is in a hurry or not, he is not in a hurry to track down the paper crane. Still hurrying along. Finally, it was about 10 o'clock in the evening after blackout. Finally 10 Earth craftsmen came. In any case, Su Zaicheng never expected that the secret base of the Hand would be in Huasha. And it is also the most famous Sahara Desert in China. A big organization is a big organization, even with such a large handwriting. Before tracking the paper cranes, Su Zaicheng guessed that it was a very majestic building on the surface deep in the Sahara. It's just that majesty is majestic, but it was actually built under the desert. Some natural geographical advantages, but also the natural barrier of the Sahara. I have to say that these people from the Hand are really smart. Now that someone has been found. Without further ado, Su Zaicheng left immediately. In an instant, the body has come to the outside. In the next second, a gust of wind blew up where Su Zaicheng was, and his body suddenly disappeared in place. Super light speed, that's not a joke. Since Su Zaicheng has endured the pressure and gravity of the dark matter world, he has adapted to the pressure and gravity of space. If it wasn't for sleeping for 3 days last time, I got used to it. Otherwise, Su Zaicheng would definitely not be able to adapt to the sudden return to the Earth. Even in the first few days after he came back, Su Zaicheng had a light foot and a heavy foot, and his walking was a bit unnatural. Compared with teleportation and flight, now Su Zaicheng prefers the speed of running. It's okay to teleport at short distances, and it's more practical to use a range of the United States in a state. The range is large. For example, going abroad like this time, there is no absolute speed and convenience. In the case of flight, there is no need to think about it, except for air combat, it is basically tasteless. 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute. Su Zaicheng is on the edge of the Sahara. I don't know if I don't see it in person, but I was really shocked when I saw it. The Sahara Desert is also huge, covering an area of more than 9 million square kilometers. Su Zaicheng even doubted whether there were other organizations setting up secret bases here. It is also very likely that some unknown civilization is also buried under this land. Turn Hawkeye on. Even in the dark night, this piece of land can still be seen at a glance. Su Zaicheng put the hood on his head coldly. The hunter suit instantly becomes the most primitive appearance. With a light flick of the wrist, the Flood Dragon Trident appeared in his hand. Target the hand base. Full speed ahead. Who? Stop, or we'll shoot. The hand was indeed cautious. In the dark, Su Zaicheng was a few kilometers away from their base, and their secret sentry had already appeared. Humph. Su Zaicheng naturally didn't take them seriously. Don't even look and move on. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. It is also worthy of being a member of the underworld. The searchlight hit Su Zaicheng's body, concentrated firepower and opened fire directly if there was a disagreement. However, how can ordinary firearms cause harm to Su Zaicheng? Even if they took off the hunter suit, they couldn't move. Go away. This is also an embarrassment. Su Zaicheng frowned. From beginning to end, Su Zaicheng carried out the development concept of export tanks to the end. He has no interest in this kind of rubbish. The trident swung forward. A strong wind instantly lifted all those who stood in the way flying 10 meters away. They were lying on the ground one by one, unable to even moan, not knowing whether they were alive or dead. Just kidding. Chopping the planet with a halberd, stepping on Mars, carrying the existence of the moon. How can ordinary people like them understand waving their hands? The hand is really a dumpster. Garbage is garbage, no matter how much it is still garbage. Haven't gone a few kilometers yet. Su Zaicheng's danger perception has detected several waves of killers hiding in the yellow sand. Coupled with Hawkeye's constant observation, The positions of these people have long been exposed in Su Zicheng's vision. The poor ants thought that the delicacy was delivered to their door. Su Zicheng didn't even bother to do anything. The mind control scattered, and he directly controlled them. It looks like it's actually a ninja's costume. It seems that the base is already very close, and the core personnel have begun to haunt. Boom. 10 seconds later, Su Zicheng kicked the heavy iron gate of the Explosive Hands Guild base. Just as Su Zicheng came to the base, he was instantly surrounded by a large group of people. The front circle holds AK-47, and the back circle has rocket launchers, even anti-aircraft guns on the base, hidden armored fortresses and camouflaged snipers in the distance. There are also a large number of sword-wielding samurai, covering the entire face of Mad Ninja. Roughly, it is estimated that there are hundreds of people. All the guns and cannons were aimed at Su Zicheng. There was a stance of ordering all the artillery to fly together. Su Zicheng also ignored it completely, and his face was expressionless under the hood. Immediately, he stood upright in the crowd. Just when the atmosphere fell into a stalemate, the smell of gunpowder in the air became more and more intense, and became more and more depressing, and no one dared to act rashly. Suddenly, the people directly in front of Su Zicheng separated into two teams, forming a tunnel. I don't know what your excellency is talking about here. If you don't lose and welcome, you will be offended. It was Mrs. Gao, one of the 5 fingers of the hand, who spoke. No, it was Mrs. Gao, one of the 4 fingers. Maybe it's because in Huasha, the tone of voice is a bit ancient, like an ancient teacher. I didn't expect them to do as the Romans do. Standing with her are the other 3 fingers of the hand, Alexander Della, Sawanda and Murakami. Don't go to the 3 Treasures Palace for nothing, don't talk nonsense. Who did it? I will take his life. As the saying goes, don't hit people with smiling faces. Since people talk to you nicely, Su Zicheng can be regarded as giving them face. Hey, hello, Baga, who are you? Some people are easy to talk, but there is no shortage of barking people in this world. Murakami on the side couldn't bear it anymore. Kicking our door is still so arrogant. It is estimated that there is no one else stopping him, and he will fight Su Zicheng when he comes up. It seems that Murakami, an islander, has a bad temper. Unfortunately, they run into Su Zicheng, who is also not very nice. Seeing Murakami burning like an idiot, Su Zicheng thought that facing a dog barking, he had to learn how to bark back, so he ignored him directly. I don't do anything else today, I just want to seek justice. Ask again. Who blew up my house? Su Zicheng's voice became deeper and deeper, it was his voice suppressing his anger. I think you have found the wrong person. Fuck. Before Mrs. Gao could finish speaking, Su Zicheng stabbed the 2 unlucky people beside him to death. For the last time, it was, who bombed my home? Su Zicheng's anger has risen to the extreme, the last sentence basically popped out word by word. It may be that Mrs. Gao has seen Jiali's strength before, and she has also seen Su Zicheng, who is next to Jiali. So for Su Zicheng, they also planned not to provoke this great god as a last resort. Don't look at Mrs. Gao's strength is also very strong. But that depends on whom. In front of Su Zicheng, he still obediently admits to being cowardly. It seems that you are unwilling to admit it. Then don't blame me for letting blood flow here today. Su Zicheng lifted the trident upside down and swung it forward. What sin is not sin? Su Zicheng doesn't believe in Buddhism. Killing 1 person is a crime, killing 10 people is a bandit, and the person who killed the prescription is the master. Su Zicheng was born to kill. Now that the opponent has already made a move, Mrs. Gao can't sit still. Just wanted to make a move to resist. Suddenly, a figure suddenly jumped out. Idiot. Murakami suddenly rushed out from the side, and a katana went straight to Su Zicheng. Then I'll cut off one of your fingers. Looking at Murakami, who rushed out halfway, Su Zicheng's face also turned pale, and a red light flickered in his eyes. Song saw his wrist shake off the position on the orange again. Liba, who was picked out by Song Shi's fork halberd, met the warrior. The crisp sound was extraordinarily loud this night. The sound was broken. But it's not over yet. A blow that contained 50% of Su Zicheng's strength would never stop just like that. Business circle. Arm. Arm. My arm. After the knife was broken, the hand was broken and the halberd was unabated. Murakami thrust the arm. Blood spurted out along the broken way in an instant. Suddenly, in the dark night, this scarlet bloomed a bewitching flower on the desert. So strong. This scene also shocked Mrs. Gao, Alexander Della, Suawanda and everyone present. This blow is really too strong. Even the land where Murakami is sunken into a deep pit of 1.5 meters. You must know that for the stability of the base, the ground has been specially treated. Not to mention cutting with a knife, even ordinary powerful rockets can't penetrate the ground. However, now it is. With this blow, Su Zaicheng specially condensed a little curse poison on the trident, which meant that Murakami, who was infected with the curse poison, was hopeless and would surely die. This is also the reason why Su Zaicheng didn't kill him with one blow. How dare you contradict me? Even if your fingers are clasped, you will also die in boundless pain and suffering. It is to let you be tortured and die slowly. And it's still on your turf. It may be that he was frightened by Su Zaicheng's sharp blow, or he was afraid that Su Zaicheng would not dare to act rashly. None of the hand members dared to do anything. Anyone else disagree? Su Zaicheng held up the trident, looked around with the tip of the halberd, pointed at everyone and shouted in a low voice. Today I just came here to find a place, and I will never calm down until I vent the anger in my heart. Arrogant. How arrogant. A majestic international underworld organization, unexpectedly being yelled at by one person, dare not let a single person fart. Murakami on the side was still howling. That howl was louder than the first, and anyone who heard it felt his heart contracted. It hurts to hear. Leave him alone, it's hopeless. Mrs. Gao also called out to Alexander Della, who was about to step forward to check with a gloomy face. No one else knew, but Mrs. Gao knew the horror of this person in front of her. So much so that until now she was still concerned about not making a move. But, no matter what, the hand is such a huge organization, and someone killed an organization leader in front of him. You can't let such a person be pushed into a desperate situation. As soon as Mrs. Gao finished speaking, Murakami choked in his throat with his last cry of help, and he was lying on the ground, motionless. Not even a moment later, the whole corpse turned into a puddle of extremely foul-smelling thick water. What the hell are you trying to do? Madame Gao's stooped body straightened up at some point. Are you going to have to hold back? I advise you to think about it carefully. It is for me to kill another mastermind behind the scenes. Or kill your coefficients. Su Zaicheng finished speaking. Everyone could only feel an incomparably shocking aura spreading from Invisible. Let everyone not feel that this person is joking. I think His Majesty has found the wrong person. If any of us offends you, we would definitely be happy to hand him over, I could swear on the keel. However, there is an old saying in Washa, if you want to add a crime, there is no excuse. If that's the case, then even if I lose my old body today, I still have to fight with your excellency. Okay. Listening to Mrs. Gao's righteous words, not only doubts arose in Su Zaicheng's heart. Could it be true what this old thing said? Although the mind-reading technique has seen her heart clearly. Even if what she said is consistent with what she thinks in her heart. But Su Zaicheng was still worried. Maybe the old immortal who has lived for so long has a way to shield his heart. Just, as she said, swear by the keel. People in the United States are very religious. Generally speaking, if they swear in the name of God or what they believe in, they will never lie or violate it. Also, Su Zaicheng killed Murakami in front of them. If they really wanted to trouble Su Zaicheng, they should do it. It is indeed a problem to be able to endure until now. Adding all these together, even Su Zaicheng was stunned. I ran all the way here and suddenly told him that I made a mistake? Isn't this just a joke? What do you say when your mad ninja appears near my house? Su Zaicheng intends to make the final test. Your Excellency killed our people. I don't think any force would sit idly by. However, when Su Zaicheng watched Mrs. Gao say this, she was obviously a little guilty. So it is. Under the mind-reading technique, the old guy sent crazy ninjas to inspect Su Zaicheng's house, which turned out to be a curse. They were just curious about what could suppress the Dragonbone's ability to regenerate. After all, this is one of the few things in this world that can threaten their existence. But Su Zaicheng understands this. It seems that they have lived for hundreds of years, but in fact they are also very afraid of death. Mistake. Excuse me. He came all the way to kill the boss, and in the end he had a big oolong. That is to say, Su Zaicheng has a thick skin, and someone with a thin skin would probably want to find a place to drill in on the spot. Indeed, it was also Su Zaicheng's fault for being too reckless, and he was in a fit of anger, so if he killed him, he would kill him. Anyway, given their strength, it is expected that they will not be able to do anything. Maybe this is the loneliness of the strong. Stay, isn't it wrong for you to do this? Even killing our two compatriots, Your Excellency didn't even give us an explanation, just walked away like this. Emotionally and rationally, it seems a bit unreasonable. Oh, what do you want? Just draw a line and I'll take it all together, don't drag me these elegant things. After listening to Mrs. Gao's long-winded article, Su Zicheng felt amused. After all, Mrs. Gao was still upset, and still couldn't swallow the bad breath. Even if I want Su Zicheng, I have to pay a price, so I feel better, and I have an explanation to the following. However, as a strong man, how could Su Zicheng be the kind of person who suffers easily? If it wasn't because of embarrassment and Mrs. Gao's smiling face, Su Zicheng would have left at this point, otherwise with the current anger, no matter right or wrong, he would have to kill him. I saw Su Zicheng firmly erecting the trident in the sand. Standing together with one halberd, they looked at Mrs. Gao neither humble nor overbearing. Let's see what tricks she has. Too much deceit. What to say to him, just kill him and it's over. Yes, with so many of us, how can we be bullied by a brat? Alexander Della and So Wanda sang together. Although they are also afraid, they can't justify not doing something at this time. Besides, the elites of the Hand Association are basically all here, and under certain conditions, it also gives them the confidence to be tough. Because Su Zicheng's identity has long been disclosed by the Hand, so in their eyes, no matter how strong this mysterious bounty hunter is, he is just a young boy after all. The combined ages of the few of them are almost 1,000 years old. How can we not deal with a high school student in his early 20s? Fire. The two looked at each other tacitly, and directly ordered to shoot at Su Zicheng. Mrs. Gao seemed to have acquiesced. The three retreated quickly, leaving the battlefield to the younger brothers. It may be because these younger brothers have endured Su Zicheng for a long time, such pretended people are rare in their underworld. Upon hearing the order, the boys pulled the trigger like crazy one by one. In an instant, bullets poured towards Su Zicheng as if he didn't want money. It was as dense as a downpour. At this moment, in this dark land, the sound of machine guns and artillery can be heard endlessly. Fortunately, there are few people here, otherwise, the sound alone would be enough to scare some timid people to death. However, even if there are few people here, I am afraid that the police and army special forces will find this place after today. Maybe it has been locked by satellites by now. 3 minutes later, the sound of gunfire and artillery has not stopped. After 5 minutes, it was still getting worse, and after 10 minutes, it finally stopped slowly. When everyone's eyes couldn't wait to look at the center of the gun shooting, their hearts also became tense. The gunpowder smoke dissipated, and a figure stood there, motionless. I saw Su Zicheng waving the flood dragon trident in front of his body, turning it non-stop. The impenetrable shadow of the halberd was like a shield covering Su Zicheng's whole body in it. This move is exactly the spring and autumn sword technique that Su Zicheng learned from the first king of Atlantis. It is also a trick for Su Zicheng to have self-protection ability in the face of Dormammu. It's just that on the earth, without the shackles of dark matter, Su Zicheng is more comfortable to use, and the duration is naturally much longer. Hiss. See Su Zicheng standing there intact. I'm afraid everyone present took a deep breath. What the hell is this? After 10 minutes of shooting, he can still stand there completely. Is he still human? Keep shooting. A figure who seemed to be the leader of the team gave the order again. HMPH, it's not rude to come and go, it's my turn to do it. It happened that the anger that had been suppressed could be released. There is a way to heaven if you don't go, and there is no way to hell you break into. Isn't this courting death? I saw Su Zicheng shouted loudly. The trident in his hand seemed to come alive, slashing horizontally and vertically, stabbing forward obliquely. Every time he struck out, he could reap a few lives. A minute later, all the people present fell into a pool of blood without exception. Only Su Zicheng is still standing. What was even more shocking was that Su Zicheng's body was still clean without a trace of blood. HMPH, I'll let you three off this time. Looking at the remaining 3 fingers of the hand that had fled long ago, Su Zicheng raised his wrist, and the dragon trident was retracted into the hunter's space. In the next second, there was no one in the desert who could stand up. Su Zicheng also teleported and rushed back home. The cold starlight spread to the earth, and a crimson crescent moon hung high above the desert, staring at this desolate land indifferently. With a bit of indifference and depression, the north wind whizzed past, flooding the entire desert. A killing spirit. Only the solitary sandstone and mound stared at all this coldly, as if they were still expecting the place to become noisy and lively. But what made them feel desperate was always that life died under the gravel, and the gravel was desolate under the life. Especially. Hundreds of people are all one-hit kills. Many people were crushed into pieces by Su Zicheng without even leaving their bodies. What's more, under the poison of the curse, he couldn't even make a scream and turned into a puddle of black water. The sand has been stained red and blood is flowing. Constantly penetrates deep. The bloody smell in the air and the undissipated bursts of gunpowder smoke were blown wantonly into the distance by the cold wind in the desert. A few vultures and crows landed on this devil land with quacks, as if they were calling their companions, and also as if they were telling the delicious food under their feet. After a while, a group of Maine dogs came. Just for a moment, this place has become a paradise for scavengers. Other people's corpses became food for animals. The person who was extremely arrogant a few minutes ago has now become the belly of his mouth. How sad, how ridiculous. All this can't be blamed on other people. If you want to blame them, you can blame them for messing with an existence that shouldn't be messed with. The next morning, Su Zicheng still got up early. Looking at this delicate and handsome boy, he would never associate it with the murderer who murdered wildly last night. Su Zicheng was washing in the bathroom, and the latest news was broadcast on the TV news. With today's latest report, a major murder occurred in Washaw last night. The death toll is still under further investigation and is not expected to fall below triple digits. According to the judgment of the experts present, this homicide involved gang rivalry. One of the parties is the notorious Hand. I don't know why, the secret bases of the Hand were all wiped out. And the other gang didn't leave a single body behind. According to the positioning satellite footage, the shootout last night lasted for a full 10 minutes. Judging from the intensity of gunfire and the number of people, it is conservatively estimated that at least 2 platoons of men were deployed on both sides. Next, let's connect to the live broadcast. Please continue to pay attention, we will update you with the latest reports. Su Zicheng brushed his teeth and listened to the reporter's report. The heart is as smooth as a mirror, there is no wave at all. As if the news had nothing to do with him, and he was just an ordinary audience. It can't be said that there is no emotion at all, at least Su Zicheng's anger has calmed down a little because of the blood. But he still felt dissatisfied. Even after killing so many people, Su Zicheng was still unhappy if he didn't find the person who bombed his house. In the next day, Su Zicheng wreaked havoc in the backyard, trying to lose his temper and cover up his inner depression. However, after all, it was his own home. After the destruction, Su Zicheng relented and used healing magic to revive the flowers and plants in the backyard. A few days later, Su Zicheng was having dinner at home, and almost forgot about it, when suddenly heard the beeping sound of the mobile phone. Someone called. Huh. Tony, what does this guy want from me? After hesitation, Su Zicheng still answered. A long-lost voice came from the other end of the phone. Hey, Mr. Hunter, long time no see. What's the matter? How much is it? Is there another employment mission? It's not a mission. Mr. Hunter is always so humorous. He can joke better than Vanessa, haha. This Granny Vanessa has really left a deep impression on the Avengers. Not only does she have an unpalatable cake, but her tone of voice has also been imitated by these people. What's the matter? If it's okay, I'll hang up and eat. Su Zicheng is also curious. If there is no situation, what is this guy calling him for? It can be that he is idle and has nothing to do, and he hasn't seen him for a long time, right? Could it be that the civil war is about to start? Hug your thighs ahead of time. Or pull Su Zicheng to his camp. Just counting the time, it should not be the time when the conflict between the captain and him is triggered. Eating. Oh haha. Why don't Mr. Hunter come to Stark Industrial Building and I'll treat you? We talked while we ate. You better hope you have something important to say to me. Su Zicheng pretended to be tough on his lips, but when he heard that Tony was going to invite him to dinner in his heart, he was already overjoyed. Go. Why don't you go? These few days, eating bread every day makes Su Zicheng feel sick, and I don't bother to go downstairs to have a good meal. For some reason, he hadn't seen that big black fat man in the racecourse for a few days, and he couldn't count on horse meat. Just in time, go and try Tony's big meal too. Look at how extravagant the food in the upper class is. Half a minute later, Su Zicheng came to the downstairs of the Stark building. Tidy up the clothes, although it is still wearing a hood to hide its face, but since people invite you to dinner, it must be like that, no matter what. With the wind blowing from the soles of his feet, Su Zicheng flew up directly and took the elevator, which is the operation of ordinary people. To be a man is to be different from others. Because the top of Tony's Stark building is his private space, there is an open place, and it is also the place where Tony uses his steel armor to stop after performing tasks. Su Zicheng reached the top floor and teleported directly into the building. The mind control spread, and the mental power spread out to find Tony's position, and once again used teleportation to sit in front of him. At this moment, Tony was fiddling with something on the console in front of him, and he didn't notice that there was an extra person in front of him at all. When people arrive, we can serve food. Su Zaichang suddenly said something, scaring Tony for a while. Oh, I'm scared to death, it's here so soon, ha 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 ha. Where's my big meal? Haven't eaten yet. Only now did Su Zaichang realize that this is Tony's office, and there is no big table of delicious food. Su Zaichang didn't see any of the red wine steaks in the phenomenon, or other big meals. Su Zaichang thought that all rich people were like this. When waiting to eat, let the servants bring everything to the table, so as to preserve the original flavor of the food. Wait a minute. Tony smiled wickedly. Turn around and pick up 2 Big Macs from the desk behind you. Come on, eat your fill. Are you kidding? Don't tell me you just buy me this. Although Su Zaichang knows that Tony likes to eat hamburgers, but since he is so far away, I came here with just one call from you, so why are you willing to invite me to eat hamburgers? You don't eat this every day at home, do you? Yes, the hamburger is so delicious, I can't get enough of it. Do you still remember the first time we met, when it was closed there? I wanted to eat such a burger every day. Does every rich second generation have a special hobby, such as pedophilia, and particularly strong taste and so on? Connecting with this dude can't escape this theorem. Tell me, what's the matter? If you don't impress me, I'll tear down your building. You shouldn't doubt my strength. Su Zaichang took the burger and said coldly, this is too good at tricking people, and I still want to have a good meal. Definitely, Mr. Hunter must have this ability as long as he makes a move. Look here. After speaking, Tony took a big bite of the hamburger and pointed to the place he was fiddling with just now. Only then did Su Zaichang notice what Tony was looking at on the console just now. It turned out to be the ruins of Su Zaichang Queens after the bombing, that is, Su Zaichang's home. Tell me. Su Zaichang also took a bite of the burger and said coldly, I don't care what to eat now. In other words, Tony's private custom big burger is really real, not only delicious but also filling. Rich people even eat a hamburger so extravagantly. This is probably the best hamburger Su Zaichang has ever eaten in his life. This house in Queens was built by me, so I am also responsible for its security. So you found a clue? Su Zaichang asked back. Not yet. Are you forcing me to demolish your home? But this time I invited you here because your strength is stronger and it is easier to find clues, so I asked you to come with me. Look, this. After finishing speaking, he pointed to the 3D model of the ruins on the console, which should be the pictures taken by Twoli's private satellite. It's not your home. Why do you care so much about it? Now I have reason to suspect that the bombing has something to do with you. Su Zaichang turned around and pointed the finger at Tony. No. I swear on Iron Man, it has absolutely nothing to do with me. That is how the matter. I don't know why, although what Tony said is true and what he thinks in his heart, he still feels weird. Hey, let's be honest. Better. You know, as the chairman of the Stark family, I not only have to do research, but also take charge of various business matters of Stark. Choose the key. Don't worry, just sit down and listen to me. As a member of the United States large group, business competition is fierce, and Stark Industries, as the leader, bears the brunt. Don't explain the struggle in the field, secretly each family is competing privately. The house in Queens was invested in my own name. I believe that there are many people who are plotting against the law or trying to attract my attention. Seeing Tony talking about his business experience, Su Zaichang couldn't listen anymore, so he interrupted him directly. So, this bombing was aimed at me on the surface, but secretly it was aimed at you, Tony, the attention of the Stark family, right? As the price of this commercial competition, it means making me a scapegoat, right? After hearing so much nonsense from Tony, Su Zaichang understood what he wanted to say. The mind reading was turned on, and the shock in Tony's heart showed that what Su Zaichang said was all right. It's just, what the hell is this? Why do you rich people fight, and ordinary people like me suffer? Although Su Zaichang is not common at all. Mr. Hunter is really not an ordinary person, he guessed it so quickly. Stop talking nonsense. Let's see what's going on. Su Zaichang stuffed the hamburger into his mouth in 2 gulps, without turning his head, and ignored Tony's flattery. Go directly to the console and observe. I have to say, the technological content in you, Tony, basically represents the high content level of the entire United States. The console is obviously a video, but it can be played frame by frame, and it is the kind of 3D, which is even more exaggerated than this. Anyway, Su Zaichang has never seen any high tech, so he can't understand it with words. In short, it is not much worse than the Superman artificial intelligence of Hunter System 2.0. The two of them just surrounded the console, glancing up and down. Tony stopped in one place for a while, and circled around the console for a while. I guess it's been a long time. Already tired of it. Su Zaicheng smiled wryly. He had to rely on himself. Although this interest relationship has nothing to do with me, it is my home anyway, so I can't just sit idly by. The mental power gradually covered the entire three-dimensional picture. No detail can escape Su Zaicheng's detection now. The screen played again. No suspicious persons. No suspicious vehicles, no suspicious flight controllers either. Not even a suspicious insect. There doesn't appear to be a single suspicious sign. After rereading it several times, Su Zaicheng also wondered what was going on, but couldn't find anything. Could it be that it is really haunted? Did you not record them? For his spiritual power, Su Zaicheng still trusts him very much, but he can't find anything with his spiritual power, so it must be Tony's problem. Impossible. I have screened the video, and this is the video before and after the explosion. It can't be wrong. Call out the video you've screened, I'm watching. Su Zaicheng still didn't believe it, but when he watched the screened video 2 or 3 times and still couldn't find it, Su Zaicheng was completely unconfident. Let's see what is screened out by To. I watched it a few more times, but still got nothing. He's meowing. It's so F***king weird, there isn't even a fly, how can we investigate? Tony, who has always been honest, couldn't help but swear. After watching it for so long, no matter how bad-tempered a person is, he has to get a little angry. Wait, flies? Insects? Tony's words hit the nail on the head. Su Zaicheng instantly became sensitive when he heard these words. Tony, playing it again. Hey, forget it, Mr. Hunter. Let's go. This time I will really take you to eat the most authentic United States dinner, so that I can apologize a little. I said I'm playing it again. Unknowingly, Su Zaicheng raised his tone. Seeing this posture, Tony quickly complied. Under the mind-reading technique, at this time, Tony was thinking, would the bounty hunter really want to tear down his building, just for a hamburger? Su Zaicheng, who saw this scene, couldn't laugh or cry. Stop. That's it, pause. When the scene was about to explode 3 minutes before, Su Zaicheng immediately asked Tony to freeze the scene here. Enlarge, zoom in again, keep playing. Oh. Why are you such a mother-in-law? Just magnify it 100 times. When they saw something floating in front of them, their eyes lit up immediately. There is a clue. That's right, it's an insect, a bee, to be precise, a person pretending to be a bee. Tony, do you know who this is? Do not know? Tony doesn't know it, but Su Zaicheng does. Isn't this the first generation of Ant-Man? It should be said to be the deadly enemy of the first generation Ant-Man. Dr. Pym's apprentice begs. If it wasn't for this little thing that appeared on the screen, Su Zaicheng couldn't figure it out even if he tried his best. It turned out that he was the one who did the damage. The murderer behind the scenes turned out to be Ant-Man. It's no wonder that Su Zaicheng didn't see what was going on after watching it several times. If Su Zaicheng hadn't known about the existence of this thing in advance, who would have noticed that a small bee would blow up a house? If it were Tony, he probably wouldn't be able to find out if he was given 10 years, unless Ant-Man showed up automatically. Mr. Hunter, who blew up the house and who wanted to destroy it secretly. I'll tell you a name and you should know it. Who? Dr. Pym. Oh shit, Fark. How could it be an old man like him? Although he has some feuds with my father, he can't spread his grievances on me. 7,000. No, it should be Darren Cross to be precise. Isn't that Dr. Pym's student? You know him? The CEO of Claws Technology, one of Stark Industries' competitors. Why doesn't he know him? Okay, it's over with him. Su Zaicheng said to himself, this is all right, there should be no mistakes, and finally found the right person. Mr. Hunter, I consider hiring you. Why, didn't you solve it by yourself this time? Su Zaicheng also thought that Tony would compete with him like last time, dealing with his business rival alone. No, as Iron Man, the United States superhero, this identity is not convenient to do it, so please do it. Okay, I'll take over this task. Well, I haven't made an offer yet. This time it was Tony's turn to be surprised. How could the bounty hunter be so happy this time? There must be no fraud. In fact, Su Zaicheng would have done it without Tony sending out the mission, so no matter how much money Tony paid, the bounty hunter was indispensable for this mission. Well, it's rare that Mr. Hunter is so straightforward. I'm also generous once, I gave out 10 billion, just to vent my anger. It doesn't need to kill him, just ruin his company or make him suffer. This 10 billion can be regarded as making up for the presumptuousness of inviting you here today. It's not good to ask you to come and let you eat a hamburger. Farewell. Su Zicheng took a step back and disappeared directly from Tony's sight. In fact, Tony's last sentence had something to say. What he thinks in his heart is, give me more money, and don't tear down my big house. Tony is still soft-hearted. People dared to explode, and to put it bluntly, it was to take people's lives. This is no longer a simple commercial competition. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a deliberate revenge or malicious murder. As for Tony, I don't know if it's because the burden of superhero is too big, or what. He even spent 10 billion just to make the enemy suffer. Naive, so naive, it looks like he has never been beaten by society. It is definitely a big taboo for those who follow this way to face the viciousness of the enemy but have a kind heart. At least, Su Zicheng's goal is to use the cruelest way to kill Darren Cross. Not only that, but the Klaus Technology Company was also destroyed. Su Zicheng is the kind of person who holds a grudge. Especially those who have hurt themselves or have malicious intentions. For them, Su Zicheng has always been unforgiving. Never leave any sympathy. So, back at the villa, Su Zicheng couldn't wait to release the tracking paper crane again. Mental power followed the paper crane again and began to track Klaus' location. It's just that the tracking of the paper crane seems to be ineffective this time. When Su Zicheng was released, although the paper cranes also flew out, but it started to hover over the villa. 2 laps. This is really the first time a big girl gets on a sedan chair. Not to mention the big girls, it was also the first time Su Zicheng encountered such a weird thing. These supernatural events have occurred one after another in the past few days, which made Su Zicheng feel a little dizzy. Seeing the paper cranes still circling on the roof, Su Zicheng was startled suddenly. Klaus, the bastard, shouldn't be here. Su Zicheng quickly let go of his mind control and began to investigate. Strange, no, after checking the entire villa, Su Zicheng didn't find anything unusual. Not to mention insects and other small animals, Su Zicheng even turned over the trash can, still didn't find anything. Just when Su Zicheng was about to check it again, the tracking paper crane finally moved. Seeing it moved, Su Zicheng felt relieved. I probably didn't track down where the Klaus people were just now, so let's stop on the roof of Su Zicheng's villa for a while. At least Su Zicheng thinks so. Tracking all the way, the paper cranes flew over Queens, Virginia, and Idaho. Finally came to a building. Looking at the big logo of Klaus Technology, Su Zicheng took a deep breath. It's not too far, and it's not too late, and because it takes too long. Along the way, tracking the paper cranes was not the same as before. Look for a direction, no one can stop it, and go straight all the way to bring Su Zicheng to the destination. On the contrary, this road is too bumpy. Not to mention this time tracking paper cranes on the road, flying and stopping. What's more, it actually circled a few times around a tree from time to time, or circled a few times in front of a certain building. This is completely treating myself as an ordinary red-crowned crane and coming out to travel. Or, Klaus, the first-generation Ant-Man, is also considered a small animal, and it's a little too much to bear to follow the origami crane. Fortunately, Su Zicheng resisted the urge to scold her, patiently followed the paper crane and found it. He broke the connection with tracking the paper crane, and drifted away in the world as it turned into a bubble. Only then did Su Zicheng realize that it was already o'clock at night. This road actually flew from morning to night. I'm afraid this broke another record for Su Zicheng. The longest record for the first tracking time. Damn it. Hurry up and upgrade your soul tracking technique, I'm tired of this slow pace. Anyway, it's already this time in the evening. Su Zicheng is simply having a meal, no matter how urgent it is, it's not right now. Coupled with the hamburger I ate at Tony's today, I won't be hungry. Fast food is fast food, full fast, hungry also fast. It was 11:30 when Su Zicheng had his meal. It took 2 minutes to rush to Klaus Technology Company without haste. Standing in front of this building, Su Zicheng suddenly felt so small. It is not the smallness of the figure, nor the smallness of the strength. It was just an indescribable feeling. When Su Zicheng wanted to think deeply, he felt a sudden pain in his head, and he didn't know if it had something to do with those things. Su Zicheng quickly shook his head to drive this thought out. Because the brain is still a little painful, and the use of mental power is also uncomfortable, so Su Zicheng just walked in. Anyway, I am invincible. Even if there are security guards or something, Su Zicheng can't be dealt with in a hail of bullets, let alone ordinary security guards. What's the difference between facing them and Su Zicheng facing a group of brats? Besides, today is here to destroy, Not to mention that Su Zaichang is not allowed to enter. Even if he is not allowed to enter today, the building will be demolished. Putting on the hood, facing the bright moonlight, Su Zaichang walked in generously, without treating himself as an outsider at all. The moon and stars are sparse. It seems that tonight is destined to be not an ordinary night. It's just that when Su Zaichang walked into the building, he seemed to find something unusual. The further I went in, the more uneasy I felt. But there is no warning about the danger perception. It's so strange. It's definitely not Su Zaichang's paranoia, because when Su Zaichang walked into the building, no one stopped him. To be fair, such a big company shouldn't be able to afford a team of security guards. Moreover, as Su Zaichang got deeper and deeper, Klaus's company seemed to be evacuated, and there was no one. This little guy probably didn't expect me to trouble him, so he withdrew early. Are all business minds so flexible? Su Zaichang said to himself as he walked in. When Su Zaichang checked layer by layer, he suddenly found something wrong. Because I don't know when, there are more ants on the ground. Su Zaichang closed his eyes and felt it carefully. There seemed to be a slight buzzing sound outside the window. It was a kind of flight ants unique to the United States. I'll go, isn't it? What a coincidence. Seeing these ants, Su Zaichang immediately thought of a person. Scott Lang. That's right, the original Ant-Man. This poor electrical engineering student was the unlucky guy who was always arrested when he met Dr. Pym, and every time it was for theft. Also spent several years in prison picking up soap for no reason. Although it is for livelihood or ex-wife and daughter every time, but every time I go to prison. And the funny thing is that every time I put it back, there is a famous saying, wash your hands in the golden basin, steal again, and be self-reliant, the grain is plentiful. But in fact, no one in this world can escape the law of true fragrance. I don't know what Pym likes about him. Scott is not that kind of classic hero material. It may be his agile skills, professional technical background and strong moral heart that make him an excellent candidate to succeed Ant-Man. Really good at mathematics, physics and chemistry, not afraid of cheating and abducting. Su Zaichang guesses that Scott has now accepted the mission given to him by Hank Pym to steal the yellow jersey battlesuit. That means you can find Klaus by following these ants. In fact, Su Zaichang could have saved some effort and directly used mind control to find out his location. However, I don't know if it's the aftereffects of that incident or what. When I had a headache just now, even my mental power fluctuated a bit, which caused my head to hurt in the invisible as soon as I used my mental power. 5 minutes later, Su Zaichang followed the army of ants to an iron gate. Because he didn't use his mental power, he didn't know what was going on inside, and definitely didn't know what was behind the iron gate. Adhering to the principle that he originally came to cause trouble and cause damage, Su Zaichang kicked open the iron gate. I happened to hear a voice of, "Get it done," from someone inside. With a bang, the iron door was kicked open, and the people inside obviously jumped. It was only then that Su Zaichang realized that this was actually his power distribution room, and this team of ants was a destruction team, not a rescue team, to meet Scott. You, who are you? You are not allowed to enter here without permission, don't you know? There was only a little fat man inside, and Su Zaichang guessed who he was without mind-reading skills. It should be Scott's old friend. It's just that today, as a partner wingman, it seems to be in the drama now, and I forgot that I also sneaked in, and instead asked Su Zaichang if he came. Where are they? Su Zaichang initiated soul torture and at the same time performed mind-reading on him. Not surprisingly, Klaus and Scott were all in the top-floor research institute. After knowing the location, Su Zaichang turned around and disappeared in place. Regardless of that little fat man's stunned expression, the next second has already appeared on the top floor. Sure enough, as soon as he reached the top floor, Su Zaichang immediately felt the presence of people. There are more than a dozen people at the door alone. However, judging by their attire, it seems that they are not researchers from Claw's technology company, nor are they people like bodyguards. If you look closely, they all have the same tattoo. F*K, Hydra. These people are really pervasive. Why is it like Xiaoqiang, can't be killed no matter how hard he fights? See their octopus-like tattoos. Su Zaichang knew it all at once. However, I have to say that the organization Hydra is too awesome. Having experienced so many blows from S.H.I.E.L.D., they still stand firm. According to the plot, Su Zaichang speculates that Klaus intends to show the Wasp battlesuit developed by their company to Hydra organization today, and then sell it to them. Similarly, Hydra also wants to buy the Hornets battlesuit and form a Hornets army, in order to achieve the purpose of destroying the world. Just when Su Zaichang was about to take a step forward, suddenly, an explosion came from behind the high-tech door. the security guards at the gate also swarmed in. Just in time, Su Zicheng of the province was wasting time to deal with them. Even though these people combined could not last 3 seconds in Su Zicheng's hands, but with the temper of a bounty hunter, Su Zicheng still wanted to get in. In the dark corner of the corridor, Su Zicheng released his mind control and extended it into the room. Stealthily controlled the last Hydra soldier without anyone knowing. The soldier, originally holding a gun in both hands, was watching the leader in front of him in the new invention of Klaus Company closely. Suddenly, I only felt a severe tingling in my head. The light in his eyes dimmed instantly.